Chapter 536. Lin Che and Gu Jingze arrived at the Glass Palace together. Yu Minmin had just found out that Gu Jingming was going to invite Gu Jingze to dinner, so she hurried over to welcome them. Minmin. Lin Che walked over with a smile. Yu Minmin said, "You suddenly left at the entrance of the company today. I thought something happened." "Yes, something came up. But it's nothing serious. Let's go in and talk." Gu Jingze glanced at Lin Che and nodded at her. Gu Jingming saw that Gu Jingze seemed to have something to do, so he brought him to the study. Gu Jingze then called Chen Yuqing along. The three of them went into the study together and Gu Jingze told him what had happened. Chen Yuqing said, "That's impossible. The sperm is perfectly preserved. I didn't tell anyone and there are no signs of anyone breaking in." Gu Jingming said, "What about Miss Imo?" Gu Jingze shook his head. "I don't know why she said that." Chen Yuqing said, "Who told you to tell her?" "We agreed not to tell anyone." He glanced at Gu Jingze, pretending to be sour. Gu Jingze just sat there and glared at Chen Yuqing. He didn't know why he had liked Mo Huiling so much back then, but today he realized how stupid he had been. How could he trust such a woman so much? At this moment, he no longer had any feelings for Mo Huiling. Chen Yuqing said, "That's easy. Just let her have an abortion." Gu Jingze said, "What if she doesn't?" Gu Jingming said, "You can't drag Miss Imo away and ask her to have an abortion, can you? If everyone knows about it, it'll be worse, won't it?" "Sigh, that's easy. Let her give birth. No matter whose child she's pregnant with, it won't be yours." "Of course it might not be." Chen Yuqing smiled and said, "Maybe you sneaked out to eat something." Ahem. Before he could finish his sentence, he saw Gu Jingze glance at him. He quickly pretended that he didn't say anything. He touched his nose and said, "It's not easy to come to Glass Palace today. Aren't you going to ask me to stay for a meal? Let's go eat." The three of them came to an agreement and walked out. Lin Che had already told Yu Minmin about it. Yu Minmin just sighed and patted her on the shoulder. "It's not good to have a good husband. If your husband is an ordinary man, you don't have to worry about women coveting him, right? Your husband is so powerful. I don't want to let him go either. However, you and your husband are devoted to each other, so you don't have to worry about others breaking you up. Don't worry. Gu Jingze dotes on you so much that he won't let you suffer." Lin Che said, "I'm not worried about that. It's just that. You're right. It's all Gu Jingze's fault. It's all because of his romantic past." Humph. Seeing the three of them come out, Lin Che and Yu Minmin stood up together. Gu Jingze walked up to Lin Che. He looked at Lin Che and held her hand. They looked at each other and then sat down. Gu Jingze lowered his head and said, "I'm sure. There's nothing wrong with the sperm." Lin Che let out an "oh." He knew that he had called Chen Yuqing over just to confirm it. If there were no problems, then there was nothing to worry about. Chen Yuqing looked at them. When they were eating together, Lin Che asked, "Hey, why didn't you bring Yuran here today?" Chen Yuqing said, "Why would I bring her? Aren't you two inseparable? Good master, good disciple. Of course you have to be together every day. Why would I bring her here for such a serious matter? Also," Chen Yuqing picked up some food and said, "She doesn't want to be with me." His words were a little too sour. Lin Che said, "Why? Is she ignoring you?" Chen Yuqing said, "Go ask your good friend." Lin Che thought about it curiously. She didn't know what was going on with them. After dinner, she hurriedly asked about it on WeChat. "Yuran, what's wrong? Is there something going on between you and Dr. Chen?" After a while, Shen Yuran replied, "Nothing much. Tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll force a confession out of you." "Well," Shan Yuran seemed to be thinking about how to say it before saying, "Because there's a big gap between me and him. People always talk behind my back. I don't want to be a burden to him, and I don't want to be with him. I don't want to be a burden to him. He deserves better." Hearing this, Lin Che was speechless. "If you put it like that, I should have divorced Gu Jingze long ago." "Don't say that. You've worked very hard, and you've already achieved something. However, am I his disciple? Even if I accomplish everything, no one will think that I'm the one who did it. They will still think that I'm relying on him. Besides, the gap between our families is too big. My family is really a burden to him, and his family won't agree to me being with him. Lin Che saw this and asked curiously, "So he has already confessed to you, but you don't agree?" "Yeah. I just said I'll think about it. But now that I think about it, it doesn't seem right." Lin Che was speechless. But she really couldn't meddle in their affairs. After all, it was their relationship problem. She had been through this path and knew that no matter what others said, it was useless. If what others said was useful, she wouldn't have liked Qin Qing for so many years. Gu Jingze suddenly appeared behind them. "What are you looking at?" Lin Che was shocked. He turned around and said gloomily, "What are you doing? You just appeared out of nowhere." Gu Jingze said, "I'm just looking at what you're doing." "Chatting on WeChat? Why do you like chatting on WeChat so much?" Gu Jingze asked curiously. Lin Che said, "An antique like you won't understand that feeling." "I really don't understand." Gu Jingze had never used these social media apps. Actually, there was nothing else on his phone except for reading the news. Lin Che said, "Is this the psychology of gossip? You can see what people are up to by looking at your WeChat moments. You can find out about other people's gossip and show off your own stuff." Lin Che showed Gu Jingze her WeChat moments. She only reported the good news but not the bad. She only posted pictures of good things, places she went, things she saw, awards, and business openings. However, she didn't mention anything about being scolded or criticized. Gu Jingze said speechlessly, "Is this interesting?" "Of course it's interesting. Hee, you'll never understand the fun of being pretentious in this life. Why don't I download it for you and you'll know after you try it?" Gu Jingze frowned. Lin Che ignored him and took his phone. "Come, I'll download it for you." "I don't need it." "Try it. Maybe you'll find that you like it very much." Chapter 537. Gu Jingze looked at her and downloaded an app. Then, he registered for WeChat. Lin Che said, "Let me see what name I should give you." "Oh right, Crazy Cool Tyrant CEO." Gu Jingze said gloomily, "What kind of stupid name is that?" "It's so realistic." "No," Gu Jingze said. "Just make something as a name." "Okay, I'll give you an English name then." Lin Che smiled weirdly. Gu Jingze didn't believe her. Since when did she know English? Lin Che smiled and spelled it out in pinyin. Kwangzorakuba. Gu Jingze frowned. "What does this mean?" "It means just some random letters." "What do you think it should be pronounced?" "This arrangement doesn't really fit the English pronunciation." "Then it's French." "Aya, I'll use this anyway." Lin Che said it for him. The next moment, he saw someone add him. It should be someone from Gu Jingze's contact list. After he registered for WeChat with this phone number, he was directly recommended to other people's WeChat in his contact list. Lin Che saw that a few people had added him. He turned and asked, "Who are these people? Do you want to add them?" "Oh sure. They're all relatives and friends." "Yeah, they should be people from your contact list." "Okay." Gu Jingze didn't know much about this and could only watch from the side. Lin Che added many people in an instant. Immediately, someone said in surprise, "No way, Jingze. You're an antique. You actually have WeChat." Liu Beichen was also there. He asked in surprise, "Jingze, is that you? Or did your phone get stolen?" Lin Che replied speechlessly, "It's me, Lin Che. Help him open WeChat and teach him how to keep up with the times." Liu Beichen looked at it and replied, "I knew it. He actually knows WeChat. That scared me. I thought I was dreaming." Hee, let's keep in touch on WeChat." Lin Che set it up and took a picture of dinner. Then, she posted it on her WeChat moments and wrote, "The dinner was delicious." As expected of Glass Palace, she wouldn't have dared to say something like that in Glass Palace because it would definitely cause an uproar. Recently, because she had a lot of things to do, it was not good for her to keep shooting things to show off. Otherwise, she would be criticized even more. But it shouldn't be a problem if she used Gu Jingze's disguise. However, as soon as this photo was posted, many people quickly commented on it. "Fuck, Gu Jingze, are you crazy? Who can tell me, is this Gu Jingze? Did he lose his phone?" Gu Jingza, you actually posted on WeChat Moments. In just a short while, there were already more than a dozen comments. Lin Che burst out laughing. Then, he saw Liu Beichen drag Gu Jingza into a group chat. Lin Che asked on WeChat, "What group is this?" "Our club's group is for business people. Don't worry, there are no outsiders." Because Lin Che was using Gu Jing's ID to speak, the others in the group immediately came out. Gu Jingza joined the group? This is Gu Jingza? No way, President Gu, long time no see. Why are you always not around when I go to your company? President Gu, our company's 200 million isn't in yet. You have to hurry. President Gu, I've seen the progress of your bridge. It's too slow. You didn't want to work with me back then. Working with a small company just doesn't work. If it were me, I could build 30 production teams in a month. Lin Che could only send a depressed emoji. He asked Liu Beichen in private, "No way, who are these people?" "It's just a business group. Don't worry, they all know Jingza. They are people who often interact with Gu Jingza. They don't need to be in the group to contact Gu Jingza. Tell Jingza and he will know. I won't let irrelevant people disturb him." "That's not what I meant. It's just that it's strange to see these people talking." Of course, the people in this group are the upper echelons of Country C. The CEO of Rongji Electronics, the CEO of MK Group, the CEO of Stafford. Anyway, these are the people. Wow, that's impressive. Lin Che looked at the names. They seemed to be the names he saw on TV and on the internet. Instantly, she felt that they were all high and mighty. Seeing that she was talking, Gu Jingza leaned over and asked, "What are you doing?" Lin Che said, "He dragged you into a business circle. If there's any problem, you can do it yourself. It's basically set up." Returning the phone to Gu Jingza, she said, "But they've already added you in the WeChat group. You don't have WeChat either. You're too behind the times." Gu Jingza looked at her. "It's just that I don't participate in group activities, so I've never done it before." Okay, he was used to keeping a low profile. She said, "If you don't want to participate, you can just block it. You don't have to talk. Instead, you can see them talking at any time. What if you see some business opportunities? It's an information society now. If you happen to see them revealing something, you can make use of it." Gu Jingza thought about it and agreed. Anyway, he didn't have to see it if he didn't want to. Just then, Liu Beichen suddenly sent a message. "Jingza, what's up with your WeChat ID?" He didn't believe that Gu Jingza had set it up himself. Gu Jingza replied, ? "Arrogant and cool? It's quite fitting, but it's not good to be so direct," Liu Beichen said. Only then did Gu Jingza realize. Lin Che. Lin Che, who had peeked at Liu Beichen's message, was already striding away. Gu Jingza shook his head speechlessly. Luckily, even though he hadn't played it before, he was very capable. Soon, he found a place to modify and changed his ID. "This Lin Che." Lin Che quickly added Gu Jingza and said, "I've added my name. You can look for me on WeChat if you need anything. I can call you if I need anything. If you don't pick up, you can leave me a message. I'll see it when I come up." The two of them were thinking about their WeChat moments. On the other side, the others were speechless as they looked at the couple. After leaving Glass Palace, Yu Minmin came out to see them off. Lin Che said, "All right, I'm so sorry that Mrs. President came to see me off. Don't spout nonsense again." Sigh. Gu Jingza applied for WeChat. "Why didn't you ask him to add me?" Lin Che said, "Why did you add him? With Gu Jingza's WeChat, it'll be much more cool." "That's enough. Can I take a look at whatever Gu Jingza posts on WeChat Moments?" Lin Che said, "I don't think Gu Jingza will post anything on WeChat Moments." Yu Minmin narrowed her eyes and hugged her neck as she threatened, "I don't care. Go add me. Hurry up, or else I'll sign you up for events every day next month so that you won't have time to go home and have sex." Chapter 538. How could he be so threatening? Lin Che could only say, Okay. I'll add you when I get back. I'll steal Gu Jingza's phone and add you." "That's more like it." Lin Che returned home with Gu Jingza. She lay down and said, "So many people are surprised when I add you on WeChat. If you open a Weibo account, the whole of country C will be in an uproar." Gu Jingzi said, "Why?" Lin Che said, "Think about it. There are so many fangirls. Many of them will follow you immediately, send you pictures, and want to be your little lover. Humph, I can't open a Weibo account for you." Gu Jingzi said, "They can be my little lover just because they send me pictures? I'm not that lowly, am I?" That's true. Even if he didn't have Weibo, he still had a lot of fangirls. Gu Jingzi came over and saw that Lin Che still had a lot of followers on Weibo. "You have a lot of followers now," Gu Jingzi said. Lin Che said proudly, "Of course. I have 10 million followers, okay? But it's less than half of Gu Jingyu's. Sigh, women don't have as many fangirls as men do. After all, there are more girls who follow celebrities. Of course girls like boys. Opposites attract. But I'm content. When I first opened my account, I only had a few hundred followers." Just then, Gu Jingzi's phone rang. It was Li Mingyu. Gu Jingzi knew that he was close to Mo Huiling. He squinted and didn't want to pick up the call. However, Lin Che saw him and asked, "What's wrong? Is it Mo Huiling?" Gu Jingzi's eyes moved. He took a breath and said, "Maybe." Lin Che said, "Answer it. If you don't, how will you know what she's up to?" Yeah, he didn't know what she was up to, and he couldn't decide what to do next. He should ask her what was going on. Previously, he had blocked Mo Huiling's phone. Normally, outsiders' calls couldn't be made into his phone. Strange numbers would be automatically filtered. Perhaps Mo Huiling had no choice but to use Li Mingyu's phone. He guessed that this should be the case and picked up the phone. It was indeed Mo Huiling. "Jingzi." Over the phone, Mo Huiling's voice reminded Gu Jingzi of his unpleasant past, so his voice became colder and colder. "What do you want?" "Jingzi, Lin Che already told you, didn't he?" Mo Huiling didn't stand on ceremony and asked directly. "Don't waste time. Just tell me what you want," said Gu Jingzi. Mo Huiling said, "Jingzi, how can you be so fierce to me?" "I'm not being fierce. I have nothing to do with you anymore. I'm only answering your call to clarify things. All right, if you want to ask clearly, let's talk when we meet. Just talk on the phone." "That's impossible. I'll only tell you after I see you. Otherwise, I'll give birth to your child and send it to Lin Che. Let's see how you two can be together then." Gu Jingzi sucked in a deep breath. Lin Che hurriedly said from the side, "Gu Jingzi, be rational, be rational." Gu Jingzi turned back to look at Lin Che and finally nodded. "Okay, we'll talk when we meet." Lin Che looked at Gu Jingzi. "No matter what, it's better to clarify things. Anyway, we have a clear conscience, so we don't have to be afraid of her doing anything." Gu Jingzi said, "You really don't mind?" Lin Che pouted. "Forget it. Who doesn't have a love life? Besides, you've loved her for so many years." In the next moment, Gu Jingzi had already pushed her against the wall. "Yeah, and then you appeared." Lin Che looked at his face that was so close to her. What about me? I didn't do anything." Gu Jingzi looked at her face deeply. "You fucked me and nothing happened?" Lin Che thought. Should he call her fucking? Okay, that's right. She drugged the wrong person, but she was also the victim. Wait, but what did Gu Jingzi mean? Then, you were fucked? Lin Che blushed. Yeah. Gu Jingzi lowered his head and sniffed her hair. "I was fucked. I want to eat you every second now." "Aya, don't, you." Gu Jingzi pushed her down, bit her chin, and gently opened her clothes. "If you're really jealous, you might as well help me give birth to a child." What, however, Gu Jingzi had never used a condom before, and he really felt that it was wonderful. Since he didn't want to use it anymore, then he wouldn't use it. "It's fine if it's just a few times. I want to experience what it feels like to have intercourse with you." He kissed her lips, using his superb kissing skills to tease her heart into a mess. Wearing a condom doesn't mean we're intercourse? No, you don't understand how a man feels. Really? The feeling of being in your body is incomparable. Then you was still so cautious in the past. That's because I didn't want to hurt you. You want to hurt me now? Now. I want to tempt you to give birth to my child, and take the opportunity to have intercourse with you a few times. Gu Jingza bit open the collar of her clothes and buried his head in her chest. Lin Che was so ticklish that she curled up and hugged him. The next day, in Gu Jingza's office, Mo Huiling pushed open the door angrily and entered. She immediately saw Gu Jingza sitting in the middle of the room. In an instant, her eyes became moist. It had been a long time since she had seen this unforgettable face. Now that she had left him, she felt as though she had lost everything. Because of his perfection, his handsomeness, his wealth, his power, his everything. When she was with him, she was envied by everyone, but once she left him, she became nothing. Even though she was still the young mistress of the Mo family, when people looked at her, they no longer felt the same way they did in the past. As for Li Mingyu, she could tell. He was really good to her, but when she looked at him, she felt that he would never be able to compare to Gu Jingza. After being with Gu Jingza, she was destined to never accept another man in this lifetime. She looked at Gu Jingza and said sadly, "Jingza, why do you want to see me at the office? Can't you go to my house? It's not like you don't know where it is." "Unfortunately, I can't go." "Why?" "Because I don't want to go. Is that okay?" Gu Jingza's gaze sharpened. "I just want to ask you about the child. What's going on?" Upon hearing this, Mo Huiling's gaze softened. Yes, she still had a child. Chapter 539. The child is the fruit of our love. Jingza, do you want to touch it? It's in my tummy. It's our child. Enough. Mo Huiling was stunned by Gu Jingza's cold voice. What's wrong? Gu Jingza stood up and walked towards Mo Huiling with a cold look on his face. You better get this straight. Your child isn't mine. Mo Huiling looked at him. She was shocked at first. She didn't expect him to say something so domineering. Then her heart sank. What are you talking about? Gu Jingza, don't you want your child anymore? You got the child from somewhere and said it's mine. Miss Mo, I'm meeting you today because I don't want you to be meddlesome, so I want to make things clear to you, Gu Jingza said bluntly. Mo Huiling snorted. You're the one who should make things clear. Gu Jingza, you seem to have forgotten that you told me that you stored sperm for our future. How do you think I got pregnant with your child? That's it. It represents our love, so I used it and kept the fruit of our love. You don't want to acknowledge it? It's useless even if you don't want to acknowledge it. The child is yours. Gu Jingza sneered. I don't know why you think that the child is mine, but there's nothing wrong with the sperm. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm sure that the child in your tummy is not mine. So if you want to give the child to me, you'll have to be crazy. You. Mo Huiling almost fainted from anger. But she knew that the child was Gu Jingza's. He just didn't want to acknowledge it. After a long while she sighed. You don't want to acknowledge it, right? It's okay. It's okay if you don't want to acknowledge it. You'll acknowledge it one day. It's yours. Gu Jingza said, forget it. I don't want to talk to you anymore. If you want to give birth to the child, then do it. But if you gave birth to the child because you think it's mine, I advise you to stop dreaming. The child you give birth to won't be mine. But if you insist, then you can look for whoever the child belongs to. It has nothing to do with me. Before Mo Huiling could say anything, Gu Jingza said, Qin Hao, see them out. Mo Huiling still wanted to struggle, but the bodyguard had already walked over. Mo Huiling could only say angrily, fine, fine. Gu Jingza, let's wait and see. Since you're such a cold-blooded and ruthless man, don't blame me for being ruthless to you. Gu Jingza didn't even look at her and asked someone to close the door. After Mo Huiling went out, she waved her hand and told them to get lost. If you dare to touch me, I'm telling you, the child in my stomach is the heir of the Gu family. If she's hurt, none of you will be able to live. Everyone looked at each other. What did this mean? Could it be that Miss Mo, with Sir's child? Then Madam Mo Huiling left angrily. When she met up with Li Mingyu, her face was still gloomy. Li Mingyu seemed to have expected this. He sighed at her and said, I told you it's useless. Did Gu Jingza kick you out? Let's go back and wait for the baby to be born. Get lost. Mo Huiling said straightforwardly, I won't wait. I want to kick Lin Che out right now. She's just a hen that doesn't place orders. What's the use of staying in the Gu family? It's been so long, but her stomach hasn't moved at all. She's obviously a useless woman. My stomach is so good. I don't believe that the Gu family doesn't want this child. Then what about you? Li Mingyu couldn't say anything else to her, so he could only look at her and speak. Mo Huiling said, I just didn't expect that Gu Jingza would treat me so coldly without any consideration for the past. If that's the case, even if I can't win his heart, I definitely won't let Lin Che be so happy with him. Why? Everything that Lin Che has now belongs to me. This child is also what I deserve. He left it to me back then. Do you want to deny it now? No way. Mo Huiling then asked Li Mingyu to drive. She said to him, help me check the schedule of the Gu family. Li Mingyu said, are you going to tell the Gu family? Of course. Mo Huiling sighed and said, but I can't get close to the Gu family. It's even more impossible after I fell out with Gu Jingza. The Gu family used to be very angry with me, so they won't want to see me easily now. I have no choice. Li Mingyu shook his head. They didn't want to see her, so what was the point of her insisting on seeing the Gu family? The Gu family had a schedule for the next few days. They were preparing to worship their ancestors. As the Ghost Festival was approaching, they were going to visit the graves together. Actually, they had already gone once during the Qingming Festival. But the family was big and the rules were strict. During the Ghost Festival, all the men in the family had to go to worship their ancestors. Although the women didn't have to go, they still had to go back to the Gu family for dinner. Gu Jingza had already told Lin Che about this. The servants would prepare the things. She only needed to choose a simple dress to wear on that day. Just a few days ago, Chen Yuqing called Lin Che and asked if Shen Yuran was at her place. Lin Che was puzzled. He asked what happened. Yuran isn't at my place. Are you looking for her? Yes, I'm looking for her, but she's not at her house. What's going on? Can you tell me? Chen Yuqing took a deep breath and said, actually, my family came from America. I'm worried that they've gone to look for Yuran. What? I'll go to her house now. Okay, I'll go too. Lin Che hurriedly arranged for a taxi and rushed to Shen Yuran's house. As expected, Shen Yuran wasn't at home. When Lin Che ran away from home, he had come here, so he had the key. He hadn't returned it to Shen Yuran yet. After entering the house, he found that it was spotless and empty. At this time, Chen Yuqing also arrived. He hurriedly entered the house. Seeing that there was no one at home except for Lin Che, he said, she didn't answer her phone. Where do you think she might have gone? I don't know. But are you sure that your family won't hurt Yuran? Lin Che was worried that his family had taken Shen Yuran away. Chen Yuqing frowned. He didn't know what to say. I hope they won't. So you're saying that it's possible? Chen Yuqing said, based on my understanding of Yuran, I've searched everywhere she might go, but I haven't found her yet. Now, I can't think of where to look for her. Forget it. Let's search again. Think about who saw her last. She should have left the company in the morning, Chen Yuqing said. He quickly went to look for her, but halfway there, his family called him. Yuqing, come back to America with us. Chen Yuqing paused. You really went to look for Yuran, right? Chapter 540. The other party said, Yuqing, we can understand that you like this girl. She's very innocent and cute, but she's not suitable for our family. We still like Laya. You can try to get along with her. Maybe you'll find that you can get along with her. Mom, I won't do useless things. Do you think I'll give up a woman I can get along with just to try to get along with her? Chen Yuqing only said, where did she go? Yuqing, just tell me where she went. Okay, let's meet at Huaihe Hotel. Then, I saw her go down the stream. Chen Yuqing immediately hung up. Together with Lin Che, the two of them quickly arrived at the place. It was a vacation spot. Some people would go there for a walk during the holidays. She probably came here to relieve her boredom after meeting him, which was why she came here. Chen Yuqing went to look for her first, and Lin Che followed behind. She wanted to go in to look for her, But just as she reached the door, someone recognized her as Lin Che. Lin Che, that's Lin Che, right? Lin Che was surrounded instantly. She said politely, hello, thank you. But in an instant, her figure was buried. She said speechlessly, thank you for your support, but I'm doing something serious. Can you? But the celebrities they met on the way were all very enthusiastic. Most of them didn't really like Lin Che, but they quickly surrounded her to join in the fun. She had no choice. Lin Che finally had some space when the Gu family's bodyguards came out. Otherwise, she would have been suffocated. After that, the Gu family's bodyguards came out and quickly cleaned up the crowd. Lin Che heard someone scolding. "Io, celebrities are amazing. They have so many bodyguards. Alright, if you don't want to watch, then forget it." Lin Che was speechless. No, you guys are amazing. You want to force us to send our bodyguards. And on the other side, Chen Yuqing had quickly found Shen Yuran. Shen Yuran didn't expect that she just wanted to find a quiet place, but the two of them had to look for her. Chen Yuqing called her, "Shen Yuran." She turned around and saw Chen Yuqing. She looked up in surprise. "Why are you here?" Chen Yuqing grabbed Shen Yuran and said, "You're asking me? I'm asking you, why are you here?" Shen Yuran pursed her lips. "Dr. Chen, Chen Yuqing interrupted her. "No matter what they said, my business with you is my business with you. Remember, if you make a decision on your own without discussing it with me, I won't let you off." Shen Yuran was taken aback, and he raised his head to look at him. However, he had already pulled Shen Yuran into his embrace. Shen Yuran leaned against his chest. She was even more dumbfounded than before. Although he had told her to try dating before, the feeling was different. He didn't seem to be very emotional. He just told her, let's try dating. But now, she admired him a lot and felt that he was very powerful. He was respected and loved by everyone. He was a top psychologist and a top doctor in clinical psychology. He was the Dr. Chen that everyone admired. He was also her good teacher. But at this moment, he was actually hugging her like this. Then, Lin Che finally came. She gasped for air as she watched the two of them hugging so intimately. She patted her chest gloomily and gasped for air. "Shen Yuran, I'm really going to die because of you. I was almost squeezed to death just now." Shen Yuran's face was red as she said, "What's wrong with me? I just came here for a walk. Who told you to be so nosy?" Anyway, they brought Shen Yuran along and the three of them went back together. "Why are you so emotional now? It doesn't matter what happens to them. It's not like you're going to get married right away. You guys have just started dating. Why are you in such a rush to be sad? Don't give up on all possibilities. No one knows what will happen in the future. So, since you're in love, then get together." "What's the point of thinking so much about the future?" Shen Yuran said, All right. It's just that. So many people went to the office early in the morning and asked me if I was Shen Yuran in front of so many colleagues. I was scared to death, okay?" She didn't expect the Chen family to be so serious and imposing. They were obviously different from ordinary people like them, so she was scared just looking at them. Luckily, at this moment, looking at Chen Yuqing, she thought that he was right. Why was she thinking so much now? She didn't say anything. She was going to marry him. Shen Yuran said, "All right, send me home. I was going to have dinner with Mom and Dad today, but I haven't gone back yet. You're worried and they must be worried too. I'd better go back and take a look. I don't want to be like you, thinking that I've already gone missing." Lin Che nodded. He looked at Shen Yuran and said to her, "If there's anything, remember that you still have us. Don't let your imagination run wild. What are friends for? If there's a time when we are willing to do anything for you, you won't even give us the chance to do so and just run away." Yes. I understand. I won't do it again." Shen Yuran leaned into her embrace. It felt good to have friends worrying by the side. No matter what, she didn't feel like she was fighting alone. They arrived at the Shen family. Shen Yuran bade farewell to the two of them and went upstairs. She opened the door and said, "Mom, Dad, I'm back. I had something to do in the afternoon, so I didn't come back." However, just as she entered, she saw her parents coming out in surprise. Looking at Shen Yuran, Mother Shen's face was red. Yuran, you're back. Are you okay? Shan Yuran felt that her mother's expression was a little strange. Of course I'm okay. What do you think happened to me? She narrowed her eyes and looked at her mother, who couldn't hide anything. Mom, did someone from the Chen family come to look for you? Mother Shen sighed and looked at Shan Yuran. Yuran, let's just forget about it. I know that Dr. Chen is a rare good man. He's rich, powerful, and has a lot of money. His family is all government officials, but we can't afford to be friends with such a family. Shan Yuran said, Mom, a relationship is a matter between two people. How is it any different from what his family does? However, her mother's expression was still very strange. She looked like she wanted to say something but didn't dare to. Also, her father looked away without saying a word. It was really strange. She said, Mom, Dad, tell me the truth. What's going on? Only then did his father say, That's enough. You can just tell her. He pulled Shen Yuran aside and said, The Chen family gave us some money and told us to live a good life and find an ordinary family. You can just reject them. We'll take the money and live a good life in the future. Shan Yuran looked at him in surprise. How much money? Father said, 3 million. 3 million. So much. Mother Shen thought of this. She felt that it was like a pie falling from the sky. Really, these rich people are too amazing. They give money when they say they want to. They don't hesitate at all. Your dad went to the bank and the money has been transferred. Io, we can also move to a bigger house in the future. That's enough, Mom. Chapter 541. Shan Yuran said, Give me the money. I'll return it to him. Yuran, don't be silly. No matter how good he is, he's just playing with you temporarily. He won't marry you in the future. When he's tired of you, he'll dump you. When that happens, you'll lose both your money and yourself. You might as well take the money and leave. With this money you can do whatever you want with it. Shan Yuran grabbed her angrily and said, Give me the money. Hurry up and tell me where it is. You. How can you do this to me? Shan Yuran, did I raise you for nothing? Shan Yuran's mother shouted angrily. Mom, are you going to give it to me or not? If not, I'll get the police to come and say that you're illegally possessing it. What's that? Shan Yuran's mother didn't understand. Was there really such a crime? Hurry up and give it to me. All right, give it to her, Shen Fu's father said as he pulled her hand away. Just give it to her. She's such an unfilial daughter. Humph, she doesn't think about us at all. She only cares about her own happiness. She doesn't even think about how your parents are suffering here. If people see you having fun outside and your parents living in such a small house, they'll laugh at you. Shan Yuran didn't know why they said that. But there was no point in arguing with them. Shen Fu's father threw the card on the floor and said, Get lost, you money-minded thing. The password is your sister's birthday. Shan Yuran bit her lip and looked at Shen Fu's father. She lowered her head and picked up the card. Then, she turned around and walked out. Shen Fu's mother couldn't bear to part with the money. She was so angry that she cried. Shen Fu's father said, Humph, she'll regret it one day. When that time comes, she won't be beautiful anymore. Why are you still pretending to be virtuous? Why don't you take a look at your own family and see if you're worthy of her? Shan Yuran found Chen Yuqing and gave him the card along with the password. She told him to withdraw the money and return it to the Chen family. Chen Yuqing was very angry and said, I'll go and argue with my mother. She went to your house to harass you. I'm sorry, Yuran. I didn't expect her to do so much. Shan Yuran didn't think much of it. It was her family that was disappointing. They actually accepted the money. In their eyes, her love was only worth so little. Even though Shan Yulan had made a mistake and owed so much money, they still felt that she was a good person. However, she hadn't done anything at all, yet she was still being blamed by them. At night, Shen Yuran called Lin Che and Yu Minmin out for a drink. The three of them entered a private room and found a pretty good club. It was also Lin Che who brought the three of them here, because he heard that it was safer here and they could drink without worry. After all, the people who came here were all rich people, so there wouldn't be too many messy things. When the waiters saw the three women enter, they didn't want to see them. But when they got closer, they realized that one of them was Lin Che and the other was Yu Minmin. They weren't lacking in money. Celebrities made a lot of money and Yu Minmin was the president's wife, so they quickly surrounded them. After getting a private room for the three of them, Lin Che went in and asked, "What shall we drink?" Shan Yuran said, "Drink the expensive ones. You're all so rich. If you don't drink the expensive ones, I won't do it." Yu Minmin said, "I don't have any money." Ask Lin Che. "My salary is low while Lin Che makes more." "Ha, you're the president's wife. If you dare to cry to me that you're poor, I'll cry right away. Being the president's wife doesn't even have a salary. Lin Che's one movie made a few million yuan. Among the three of us, she's definitely the one who earns the most money. She's treating us today." "Hey, how can you cheat people like this? I just lost all my money to my previous company, okay?" But even though she said that, Lin Che also knew that she was the one who earned the most money. Thus, she obediently took the menu, looked at it, and went to order alcohol. At the same time, she warned the two of them, "Don't order too much. Save some money." Shan Yuran looked at the menu. Of course, in the end, she was too embarrassed to order something that was too expensive. She only said, "Then let's order the cheapest one. Let's drink beer. It's bad for our health if we get drunk too quickly." The waiter looked disappointed. When they went out, they heard that the president's wife had brought people to drink, so they immediately came over. The waiter said speechlessly, "She only ordered a few thousand yuan. No way. Where's the president's wife? She's that poor?" And she even made Lin Che pay. She said that Lin Che earns the most out of all of them. She'll get a few million yuan for each movie. How disappointing. Alright, I thought there would be a big deal today. Everyone dispersed in disappointment. Although there were some curious people who wanted to see Lin Che and the president's wife, they didn't dare to go in directly. However, when they were delivering the alcohol, two people went in and looked at them curiously. The three women drank, gossiped, and listened to songs. Shan Yuran said, "I'm really envious of you guys. You can get married. Actually, I also wish that if I get married, I can leave my family." Lin Che said, "Then let Chen Yuqing marry you. He has to marry you." But there's indeed a big gap between me and him. His family must look down on me. Moreover, the key is that his family doesn't agree to us being together. If they keep obstructing us, it'll be too annoying. Yu Minmin said, "It depends on what he thinks. If it really doesn't work, let Gu Jingzi do it and directly suppress him so that the Chen family has no choice but to acknowledge you." "Ha, I don't have the authority to let Gu Jingzi do it. Moreover, matters of the heart are between two people. It's too scary for me to let so many people get involved for no reason. Alright, anyway, we'll always be on your side. As long as you say the word, if that Chen Yuqing dares to bully you, we'll immediately teach him a lesson." "Sigh, he's fine." Shan Yuran said, "It's just that when his family came to our office today, I was really scared, okay? I don't even know how to go back to the office tomorrow. Now that everyone has seen it, they must have guessed that it's the Chen family. Sigh, I've always been hated by people because I'm always with Chen Yuqing. Now, I'll be stared at even more." Shan Yuran said as she took another big gulp of alcohol. As the few of them drank, the beer slowly became empty bottles. The three of them drank from the sofa to the floor. Lin Che leaned there and started singing. "Today is a good day. Everything I want can come true," Yu Minmin said speechlessly. "Can you shut up? The whole country knows that your singing is terrible. You're still singing. You're so annoying. The whole country knows that you're the one who defamed me. If you dare to insult me again, I'll curse you to never have sex again. Oh yeah, you haven't shared with us yet. How's Mr. President? Sexually?" Yu Minmin said, "Get lost." Shan Yuran said, "Yeah, that's right. How's your sex life? Hurry up and tell me." Chapter 542. Yu Minmin said, I can't be bothered with you two drunkards. I'm going to pee. She had been to the washroom and Lin Che wanted to go too. She staggered out. When she came out of the washroom, she felt very dizzy. However, high-class alcohol was indeed high-class alcohol. Even if she was dizzy, she didn't feel very uncomfortable. She was just very dizzy and felt that the path was crooked wherever she went. In a moment of carelessness, he bumped into someone. She saw that it was a meat wall in a daze and muttered, I'm sorry. Hey, isn't this Lin Che? Yeah, it's Lin Che, right? I've seen her live performance. It's her. When Lin Che heard his name being called, he raised his head. She saw a fat man with a skinny man beside him. Oh, hello, Lin Che mumbled. The fat man smiled and squinted his eyes, looking very interested in Lin Che. Hey, Lin Che. Hey, what a coincidence to see you here. Come, let's go to our room and have some fun. I really like that style of yours. Oh, in that movie, that dress with the slit is too fucking coquettish. Lin Che's expression turned cold as she looked at the man in front of her. Sir, can you be nicer with your words? The fat man said, I'm complimenting you. Men only like women coquettisher, he. Lin Che couldn't be bothered with him. She thought that she was here to drink and have fun. Why should she stoop to his level? She turned and was about to return to her room. However, she was suddenly pulled by the fat man. Hey, I'm talking to you. Let's go together. No, get out of my way. I'm very busy. You're not going? Hey, why not? Why? Do you want money? The man said as he ran over to Lin Che. Lin Che was really depressed. This lady is here to spend money. Get out of my way. Hey, who are you talking to? You're just an actress. Why are you calling me lady? The fat man said, get over here. Lin Che was already trying very hard to suppress her anger. However, she had just drunk and couldn't control herself. Let go and scram to the side. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Che said. The man said, let's see how you're going to be impolite. The man said with a perverted expression, you want me to fuck you and be impolite? His face was moving closer, so Lin Che immediately slapped his face without hesitation. There was a clap. The man was instantly enraged by the slap. You stinking bastard, how dare you hit me? As he spoke, he moved to grab Lin Che. Lin Che was dizzy from drinking, but at this moment, he instinctively dodged Fatty's hand. Coincidentally, there were waiters passing by. Lin Che grabbed one of them and pushed him in front of Fatty. The Fatty grabbed the waiter with one hand and looked at him angrily. Then, he pushed the waiter to the ground. At the same time he scolded the waiter, that woman, it's her. She actually dared to hit me. If you catch her for me, I'll give you 100,000 yuan tip. The waiter turned around and saw Lin Che standing there. The waiter was speechless as he said, Chief Wang Yu. Seeing that the waiter didn't move, Fatty pushed him away and tried to grab Lin Che again. The skinny man stood there and hurriedly said, Chief Wang, don't fight. It's not good to damage this place. However, Fatty was mad after being hit by a woman. He didn't listen to him and chased after Lin Che. Seeing that he was chasing after him, Lin Che threw whatever he picked up. Fatty's head was hit by the bowl she threw and it immediately swelled up. Fatty held his head and was so angry that he staggered as he walked. Stinking bitch, if I catch you, I'll fuck you to death. This man was really shameless. Lin Che was running. Behind him, Yu Minmin and Shen Yuran also came out. Seeing this scene, they didn't expect it. What's going on, Lin Che? What happened? What did this man just say? Was it vulgar? Fuck, how dare he say vulgar words to you? Lin Che was stunned. He didn't blame her for hitting him. You're not angry that I hit him? He was rude. I hit him, so I hit him, Gu Jingzi said. But you have to pay for it, Lin Che said. I'm not so poor that I can't afford it. As Gu Jingzi's woman, you don't have to suppress your emotions because of money. It's okay to lose money, Gu Jingzi said. Lin Che's eyes moved as he looked at Gu Jingza. He was so nice, and it warmed her heart. But she shouldn't do it next time. He must have spoiled her too much, so she didn't think too much. In the past, she would never dare to hit him even if she thought about it. However, having money really boosted one's courage. But if you drink so much again, I won't let you off. Lin Che smiled fawningly. I won't. Gu Jingza patted her head. Do you know what day it is today? I think it's the day to worship the ancestors. Lin Che thought for a while. It seemed like they were going to worship the ancestors today. All of a sudden, she jumped up again. No way, we're going to worship the ancestors. I forgot about it. Oh my god. Gu Jingza shook his head speechlessly. Forget it. Don't go. Rest at home. I'll tell mother that you're not feeling well. How could Lin Che agree? She said hurriedly, no, I don't actually need to rest. Forget it. It's my fault anyway. I'd better go. It's my first time participating in such a big event. I have to go. Lin Che jumped out of bed quickly and went to change and wash up. The Gu family split into two groups. One group went up the mountain to deliver the gifts, while the women chatted and drank tea at the foot of the mountain. When Lin Che arrived at the cemetery, she saw that there was a beautiful mountain above and a park below. The park was filled with the Gu family, so the people around were stopped. Actually, they didn't stop them on purpose. It was just that the bodyguards were standing around, and the large family in the middle didn't look like ordinary people, so many people didn't dare to come over. Before the men went up, Gu Jingza looked at the listless Lin Che and said, What's wrong? Do you still have a headache? Lin Che could only say it's okay. It doesn't hurt that much anymore. But what does the cemetery look like? Is there a cemetery here? I don't remember it. The scenery here was beautiful and the air was enchanting. It looked like a good place. Gu Jingza said, The Gu family's ancestral graves are above. The Gu family built a cemetery. Only the Gu family's ancestral graves are there. Outsiders can't enter, so the road up the mountain is blocked. No one is allowed to enter. Wow. Does that mean that this mountain is the Gu family's cemetery? That's right. Lin Che didn't expect the Gu family's cemetery to be so big. But thinking about it, it made sense. Such a rich family must have built a big and generous ancestral grave. Chapter 544. That's right. Lin Che hadn't expected the Gu family's cemetery to be so big. But thinking about it, it made sense. Such a rich family must have made their ancestral graves very big and luxurious. Lin Che said, Your family is too rich. Is the mausoleum up there especially luxurious? Luxurious? Do you think it's a hotel? Okay. Gu Jingza pulled her over to have a look. Look, that's the cemetery up there. After entering, there's a main road with trees on both sides. Below is the inner chamber, so the chamber is sealed off from the bottom. Outside is the gatekeeper, and behind it is the cemetery's lawn and park. There's a small lake over there. It's not big. I heard that it was set up by a feng shui master in the past 30s. Lin Che was speechless. Looking at Gu Jingza, she said, That's the entire imperial mausoleum. Gu Jingza glared at her. Gu Jingza and Lin Che sat together and talked. Someone brought over tea and snacks. Lin Che didn't feel a headache. She just drank and looked around curiously. At this moment, she thought she was hallucinating. But when she looked up, she saw that Mo Huiling was walking over. Mo Huiling had asked someone to find out that the Gu family would be here today. From afar, she saw the Gu family's cars lined up far away. Taking a closer look, she saw that it was indeed the Gu family's bodyguards clearing the area. The relatives of the Gu family were sitting inside. She sneered inwardly. She couldn't help but feel happy. She had finally made it. She knew that even if the Gu family didn't welcome her, they couldn't possibly not go out. Since she was going out, she would definitely see her. She saw Gu Jingza from afar. At first glance, she saw Gu Jingza's tall figure. Beside him was Lin Che. The two of them sat together and chatted happily. That was her man. But now, he had actually been bewitched by that little slut, Lin Che. How could Lin Che deserve to stand by Gu Jingza's side? Seeing Mo Huiling's sudden appearance, Mu Wanqing was also stunned. She looked at Gu Jingze and then glared at him. She said to the bodyguard, "Go and see what's going on." The bodyguard walked over. Mo Huiling said directly, "Stay away from me. I'm pregnant with the Gu family's descendant. If you dare touch me, you'll definitely regret it." The bodyguard was also surprised. He turned around and looked at Gu Jingze. Lin Che stood there. Gu Jingze pressed on her hand and said, "It's okay." Lin Che nodded and looked at Gu Jingze. She didn't feel too worried being by his side. She just didn't want Mo Huiling to ruin the Gu family's gathering. Mo Huiling said directly, Auntie, I'm carrying Gu Jingze's child in my arms. You can't touch him." Mu Wanqing looked at Gu Jingze in surprise. Hearing Mo Huiling's words, she asked curiously, "What's going on?" Gu Jingze looked at Mu Wanqing and said calmly, "I'll explain this to you later." Then Gu Jingze took a few steps forward. Mo Huiling, what are you doing here?" Mo Huiling snorted and looked at Gu Jingze. "You don't want to acknowledge my child, but the Gu family doesn't want to acknowledge the descendants of the Gu family?" Gu Jingze sneered. "You can think whatever you want, but I've already told you that your child is not mine." At this moment, Mu Wanqing asked in surprise from behind, "Tell me what's going on." When Mo Huiling saw Mu Wanqing, she immediately cried and said, "Auntie, I'm pregnant with Jingze's child. This child is also the flesh and blood of the Gu family, but because he doesn't want me anymore, he doesn't even want the child anymore. He doesn't want his own son anymore. Do you not want your own grandson anymore?" Mu Wanqing's heart shook. Gu Jingze said, "Mom, listen to me." Gu Jingze pulled Mu Wanqing and gave her a simple explanation. Only then did Mu Wanqing come to a realization. She raised her head and looked at Gu Jingze. "Are you sure the child isn't yours?" "Yes, I'm sure." Lin Che said, "It's okay, Mom. I'm not worried. Don't worry." Mu Wanqing said, "Humph, I didn't expect her to be such a scheming woman. I told you that I hated her a long time ago. Even if she is pregnant with Jingze's child, I won't acknowledge this grandson. I'll make her abort it sooner or later. Moreover, it might not be." She looked at Lin Che and said, "Don't be angry at Jingze." Lin Che said, "Although it's because he stored sperm, it's not his fault. How can I be so unclear about right and wrong? But if she is really pregnant with Jingze's child, you will be the one who is wronged. Sigh, Xiao Che, how can we bear to let you suffer like this?" Chapter 545. Mu Wanqing couldn't be bothered with Mo Huiling, and the group went inside. Mo Huiling wanted to go in too, but the Gu family ignored her. They just let the bodyguards take her away without looking at her. She knew that it was because the child in her belly was precious. However, she was treated as a pregnant machine. It was as if she was nothing without this child. This feeling made her very angry. "Humph, when I give birth to the eldest grandson of the Gu family, you just wait." Mo Huiling watched as the Gu family walked towards the hall next to the park. The people around them seemed to be still discussing. She said, "Can't you take me to the hall too?" The bodyguard said, "I'm sorry, Miss Mo, you can't." Mo Huiling said, "The hall isn't private. I can go there myself." The bodyguard was expressionless. "The Gu family has booked the hall to Dame. All right, the Gu family had a big business. They could book all the places at the foot of the mountain if they came to visit the grave." Mo Huiling could only follow the bodyguard to a small pavilion to rest. She sat in the middle, feeling gloomy. All the members of the Gu family entered the hall of the club. What was supposed to be a good family gathering had now become abnormally serious. Lin Che and Gu Jingze found a seat and sat down. Everyone followed suit. Mu Wanqing sat in the middle, Gu Lanshan sat in front, and Gu Iran sat in the back. There was only one son in the previous generation of the Gu family, which was Gu Jingze's bloodline. Therefore, Gu Jingze did not have an uncle, only an aunt. The two aunts were also ladies of a respectable family. Usually, They wouldn't care about the family's affairs because they had their own businesses to run. However, they couldn't ignore it today. After all, it concerned the next generation of the Gu family. Gu Lanshan said, Jingza, you really can't be sure that the child in Mo Huiling's belly isn't yours, right? Gu Jingza said, I'm sure. How can you be sure? The stored sperm hasn't been touched. Her statement isn't valid, so it naturally isn't mine. Jingza, we are family. Auntie will be straightforward. Don't be angry. We don't just have one or two of them. We have some at home. They are frozen in small glass bottles. How do you know that there are no less than one of them? Gu Jingza said, Aunt, what do you mean by that? Gu Lanshan replied, whether it's your child or not, we'll know once it's born. Don't touch her for the time being. If it's your child, we'll have to raise it once it's born. I think Xiaoche isn't the kind of person who isn't generous enough to raise a child for you. If it's not, she can give birth if she wants. Once she's born, the Gu family can just ignore it. Gu Jingza said, it has nothing to do with Lin Che. It's me who doesn't want to raise her. Even if she's mine, I won't want her. My woman won't suffer like this. If I let Lin Che suffer like this, what right do I have to be her husband? You. Gu Lanshan said, don't be so willful. Moreover, I'm sure that this child isn't mine. Gu Iran tried to be the peacemaker. All right, since you're sure, we don't have to discuss it anymore. Whether this child is yours or not, we won't let you raise it. However, you and Lin Che have been married for quite some time. You should consider having a child as soon as possible. If you had a child earlier, we wouldn't be so anxious. After all, there isn't a single child in this generation of the Gu family. That's why we're anxious. Gu Lanshan said, that means we're anxious because you're not working hard. Gu Jingza stood up and looked at Gu Lanshan. Whether or not we have a child, and how many we have, is between Lin Che and me. It has nothing to do with outsiders. You. Jingza, what do you mean? Gu Jingza looked at eldest aunt coldly. Gu Lanshan felt a chill run down her spine. She sat there and looked at Gu Jingza. After all, the Gu family's main family was there. Chapter 546. You're so sure. What if you accidentally touched her? Lin Che said deliberately. Gu Jingza said, hee hee. Don't worry. My body is drained by you every day. It shouldn't be a problem for someone else. Lin Che glared at him. Gu Jingza held her hand. Let's go. Let's go out. Lin Che said, all right then. I won't bother with her. The two of them finally walked outside. The rest of the Gu family watched the two of them leave for a walk. They all admired Gu Jingza in their hearts. He was actually so principled. He didn't even give face to his own aunt. However, it made sense. No one in the Gu family dared to be too disobedient to him. Even if they all had the same surname, he would not do anything to his own family. However, going against him would not be good, and there would not be any good consequences. They could only envy Lin Che for having such a powerful backer like Gu Jingza to protect her. She was probably the only woman in this world who could be protected by Gu Jingza wholeheartedly. How blissful! Mu Wanqing came to the pavilion and looked at Mo Huiling. When Mo Huiling saw Mu Wanqing, she still wanted to maintain the appearance of a lady from a wealthy family in front of her. Auntie, don't call me auntie. I'm not your auntie, and I have nothing to do with you, Mu Wanqing said directly. Mo Huiling's face immediately darkened, and her expression turned ugly. Mu Wanqing said, no matter whose child it is, Jingza won't raise it for you. You'd better abort the child as soon as possible. Otherwise, no matter whose flesh and blood the child is, no one will raise it for you. You can only bear it yourself. Mo Huiling was shocked. You can't do this. The child belongs to the Gu family. I don't believe that the Gu family will let the child fall outside. You should know Jingza's personality. He said that he won't raise it, so he won't. Mo Huiling didn't believe it. She didn't believe it. She believed that he wouldn't be so heartless to her if it were other women. Perhaps when her child was born, he wouldn't think so. He wouldn't think that way when he saw his own child. If you're willing, I'll hire the best doctor to treat you immediately. I'll also give you some compensation. I know you don't care about small compensation. I'll give you a shopping mall as compensation, which is not a small amount. How generous, as expected of the Gu clan. Mo Huiling sneered. Since you said that the child doesn't belong to the Gu family, why did you compensate me? You're so generous. I'm even more certain that the child belongs to Gu Jingza. Hey, I'm compensating you because we don't want your matter to affect the harmony of the family. Mu Wanqing felt that it was worth it for her to spend this little bit of money. Otherwise, Mo Huiling had a relationship with Jingzhe in the past, and if she always got close to Jingzhe, it wouldn't be good if something else happened, so it would be better to settle it once and for all. Moreover, many people knew about her relationship with Gu Jingza in the past. If she went out and caused a ruckus, it would be bad for Gu Jingza's reputation. So what was this bit of money? In comparison, Jingzhe's reputation was more important. Mo Huiling said angrily, "Why can't I? I'm the young miss of the Mo family after all, and the quality of the child I give birth to will definitely be better than Lin Che's. Furthermore, Lin Che might not be able to give birth. Otherwise, why would she still not get pregnant? Why must you treat me like this?" Mu Wanqing said, "That's right, I don't like you. You've always known that. Then you like Lin Che, that's right." Mu Wanqing also said directly, "I like Lin Che. I'm very happy that she's my daughter-in-law." Mo Huiling became even more jealous. Gu Jingyan said, "When is he not good? When he's in bed." Chapter 547. Lin Che's face turned even redder. "Jingyan, you're too dirty." Gu Jingza came in. "What are you guys talking about? You look so happy." "We were talking about going bowling." "Let's go, second brother, to the new bowling alley in the mall." Gu Jingza said, "Okay." He thought that it was good to go so that she wouldn't be unhappy. Even if the two of them trusted each other, they would still feel uncomfortable in their hearts. Even he felt uncomfortable, not to mention Lin Che. Gu Jingyan jumped up and got ready to drive. She said to Lin Che, "See, second brother will go wherever we go with little sister-in-law." "What do you mean?" Lin Che asked. In the past, he would say he didn't have time even if we asked him out for a meal, let alone going bowling. When have you ever seen him go out on his own? All right, that's true. He seems to be quite a loner. However, he did go out a lot when he was with her, even though she always dragged him out. Gu Jingyan called Liu Beichen and asked him if he wanted to go. When Liu Beichen heard this, he reluctantly agreed. Gu Jingyan said over the phone, "What? You don't have to go if you don't want to. Why do you look so awkward?" Lin Che was worried that they would quarrel again, so he quickly grabbed the phone and said, Okay, let's go. The more the merrier." Gu Jingyan put down the phone. Gu Jingyan held Lin Che's hand and Gu Jingza followed behind. The three of them walked out together and coincidentally bumped into Mu Wanqing. "Hey, you guys are going out?" "Yeah, Mom. We're going for a walk." Mu Wanqing squinted her eyes, feeling very happy. They were having such a good time together, so of course she felt much happier. When they arrived at the Gu family's house, Liu Beichen happened to drive over. Gu Jingyan said, "Let's go. We'll take that SUV together. It's a big car. It's too troublesome to take second brother's car. People who know that car will crowd around when they see second brother. It's better for us to keep a low profile." The three of them got into Liu Beichen's car. Liu Beichen said, "Why do you want to go there?" Gu Jingyan said, "I haven't been to the new bowling stadium in a long time. I want to have a look." "Are you busy? If you're too busy, you can leave now." "When did I say that I was busy?" Liu Beichen looked at Gu Jingyan. Why did this woman like to deliberately find fault with him? Gu Jingyan said, "It's understandable that CEO Liu is so busy. I'm just sympathizing with you." Liu Beichen glared at her. I think you've been finding me more and more of an eyesore lately. Lin Che said, Classmate Lu, are you sure you can drive properly? Why don't we change drivers? Lu Beichen looked behind him and suddenly remembered that there were two people behind him. Don't worry, I have a big heart. Otherwise, I would have been angered to death by her. Lin Che was speechless. What you're doing isn't right. What? Lu Beichen said. Lin Che said, you can't refute a woman's words. You just have to follow what the woman says. Yes, yes, that's right, that's right, that's right. That woman won't follow up with another sentence. Look at you, you refute every sentence she says, and when you're done, she retorts again. Of course you'll end up fighting. Lin Che looked up and said, right, Gu Jingza? Gu Jingza said, yeah, Lu Beichen said. You've never heard Gu Jingza refute her? Nope. Lu Beichen quickly turned around and looked again. Then, as if he suddenly remembered something, he said, oh, he doesn't like to talk at all. Let me tell you, it's not that he doesn't refute her, he's just too lazy to refute her. You've been tricked, okay? Gu Jingza crossed his arms. I never refute her. Gu Jingyan said, hey? Really? Because what I say is always right. She can't refute me. Lin Che looked at this arrogant man speechlessly. However, thinking about it, it was indeed the case. When she followed him, she could only be amazed. Moreover, she was so infatuated with him. Seeing that he knew everything and knew so much more than she did, she only cared about admiring him and not refuting him. She didn't know anything and had always listened to what he said. Moreover, Gu Jingza was so good-looking. No matter how she wanted to refute him, she would just think, forget it. He's so good-looking anyway, so whatever he says goes. Lu Beichen only felt that he was being showered with affection. He turned around and looked at Gu Jingyan. Forget it. She could always find something to refute. She wasn't a gentlewoman. She never was. She wasn't in the past, she wasn't now, and she wouldn't be in the future. After all, she had probably been spoiled rotten by everyone since she was in school. He still remembered that on the first day she came to school, everyone had said that the daughter of the Gu family had arrived, accompanied by bodyguards and a luxury car. It had been an imposing sight. After that, Gu Jingyan had become a well-known figure in school. However, Lu Beichen had thought that she was just a pretty face. He hadn't expected that she would sweep away all the rankings in her first exam and become the top student in the school. Lu Beichen didn't care much about the results, but he felt that he had been humiliated because everyone had said, Beichen, you're the only one who can get into our school. Your family background isn't any worse than hers, and your studies aren't any worse than hers. If you can't win her over, none of us will be able to win her over. Unfortunately, the more he tried to woo her, the more courageous she became. He couldn't blame her for always being an eyesore. This woman wasn't good at all. She was always so arrogant and didn't behave like a woman. She didn't know how to show weakness. She was the same even in bed. Gu Jingyan said, forget it, sister-in-law. Do you think everyone is as reasonable as my second brother? He won't listen to me for the rest of his life. Why don't you listen to me? Why do you have to listen to me? Because what I said was right, Gu Jingyan said. What were you right about? Lu Beichen said. Gu Jingyan said, I said that we would follow my plan to get listed today. We would definitely get the first place, but you didn't believe me. You even reprimanded me in front of the board of directors. Because you didn't think it through. Was I reprimanding you? I was expressing my own opinion. How can that be called reprimanding? Of course, if you have any problems, you can talk to me in private. The two of us, one is the CEO, and the other is the CEO. Do you think it's nice to argue in front of so many people in the meeting room? Lin Che was speechless as he listened. The two of them were so good at arguing. Lin Che could imagine what it would be like if the two bosses of the company were to argue in the meeting room. No one would dare to say a word. They could only watch the two of them argue, not knowing who to turn to for help. Especially since they were husband and wife. It's not bad at all. This was planned by someone before I came back to China. It was only opened after 3 years of construction. Wow, you did this? Lin Che looked at Gu Jingyan and said. Gu Jingyan said, yeah, it's still a foundation of the Gu family, but I found someone to plan it. Lin Che felt that the children of the Gu family were all very capable. They had their own achievements in all aspects. Even Gu Jingza's sister was the same. The two of them changed into sportswear and went out. The two beauties who were wearing the same sportswear had their own unique characteristics. One was beautiful, and the other was refreshing. It was really surprising. As they walked, the other people in the bowling alley couldn't help but look over. Luckily, there were not many people, so some people recognized Lin Che and it didn't cause any commotion. The men were almost drooling as they stared at Lin Che. However, they saw the two girls walk up to the two tall men. Although they were wearing simple sportswear, it showed off their beauty because of their simple dressing. They looked so good in sportswear. It was obvious that they weren't ordinary people, let alone when they were in normal times. Lin Che said, Aya, I used to play bowling when I was in school. Let me try. Gu Jingyan said, really? Little sister-in-law, come and try. But I'm definitely not as good as you think. Ha 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 ha, if any of you dare to laugh at me, I'll stuff the bowling ball into your mouths. Gu Jingyan said, ha 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 ha, little sister-in-law, you're too funny. Don't stuff it into me. Stuff it into the two of them. They have sharp mouths. Lin Che put on some powder and picked up the bowling ball. Seeing that the machine showed that it was in place, she went up and threw it. The ball went down the path. Luckily, it didn't fall to the side. However, it went a little crooked and only hit 3 people. Gu Jingza shook his head at the back. Lin Che exclaimed and said, Aya, you hit 3. Not bad. Not bad at all. Gu Jingza said, there are still 7 that you didn't hit. Lin Che said, you have to look at the world in a different way. You always look at the bad side and you're unhappy every day. If you look at the good side, won't you be happy every day? Why do you have to look at the ones that I didn't hit? You have to look at the ones that I hit. Gu Jingyan heard Lin Che say this. She narrowed her eyes and nodded. She smiled at Gu Jingza and said, little sister-in-law is right. Gu Jingza glanced at Gu Jingyan and shook his head at Lin Che. All right, what she said was not wrong. He knew that this girl always had a lot of fallacies. It made him, who always pursued perfection, speechless sometimes. Gu Jingyan looked at Lin Che with a smile. She seemed to like this little sister-in-law more and more. She also gradually understood why second brother liked to be with her and treated her so well. Gu Jingyan said, all right, don't laugh at little sister-in-law. Come on. Why don't you compete and see who's better? Chapter 549. Liu Beichen stood up and stretched his wrists. Sure, let's have a competition. Gu Jingza also shrugged, indicating that he didn't care. Gu Jingyan clapped her hands happily and said, that's great. The loser. We'll go and tell a stranger I love you later. What do you think? Lin Che almost choked. Gu Jingyan was too good at this. Gu Jingza frowned and turned to look at Gu Jingyan. Liu Beichen said, no way. Can't you think of something more disgusting? Can't you confess your love to a woman? Forget it. That would be too easy for you. No, I have to confess to a man. What's wrong, Liu Beichen? You know how powerful my second brother is. Are you worried about losing to him? Ha! Can your goading be any worse? Gu Jingyan made a face at him and said, come and play then. Gu Jingyan looked at Gu Jingza and said, see? My brother isn't worried at all. In his heart, he has already won against you. Liu Beichen saw that Gu Jingza was looking at the lane in front of him. Liu Beichen said, okay, let's do it. Liu Beichen went to wipe the anti-skid powder and turned to Gu Jingza. Come on. I won't go easy on you today in order not to confess my love to a man. Gu Jingza raised his eyebrows. I think you should be ready now. Ready for what? If I'm ready to confess my love to you. Fuck. I'm going to beat you up today. Lin Che and Gu Jingyan watched the two of them arguing. They knew that Gu Jingza's words were always so infuriating. The two of them began to play. The machine calculated the score very accurately. In a bowling match, 10 shots were taken in a round. Each time, there were 3 chances to throw the ball. If the first throw knocked down 10 balls, then there was no need to play the second and third time. If not, then the second and third time could be played. However, in the 10th round, even if the first throw knocked down 10 balls, the other 2 rounds would still be played. In the end, the score would be determined, and whoever had the higher score would win. Liu Beichen kicked off and threw a grand slam. He turned to provoke Gu Jingze and raised his eyebrows. Gu Jingze was unruffled. He walked over slowly, picked up the ball, and threw the ball with the standard posture without any mistakes. He looked very calm and unhurried, but he was full of confidence. Sure enough, as soon as the ball was thrown, it was a grand slam. Lin Che said, "Wow, they're all so powerful." "Yeah, let's see who will make a mistake," Gu Jingyan said. Gu Jingyan said, "Who do you want to win?" She shrugged and said, "Forget it. It's useless to ask. You must want second brother to win." Lin Che said, No, I still hope for Liu Beichen to win." "Why?" "Because I want to see Gu Jingze confess to a man," Lin Che said. Gu Jingyan smiled and said, "All right, that makes sense. Haha, then I hope second brother wins. The one who confesses should be Liu Beichen. He deserves to be so arrogant." While the two of them were talking, the second round had already begun. The two of them were so evenly matched. If one of them had a grand slam, the other would have a grand slam. They were in a stalemate, neither giving in to the other. At the back, other people started to notice the competition. Although the people who came to play were all good at it, most of them were dabblers. How could there be such a good person who could make a grand slam every time? Moreover, looking at their movements, posture and precision, they felt that they were very professional. "Wow, those 2 men are so handsome. Yeah, they're playing well. Are they professionals? They don't look like they are. They don't look like athletes either. They look like celebrities. They're even more handsome than celebrities. Of course. Celebrities are all made from plastic surgery. They look so much better than celebrities. Yeah, they look like the sons of rich families. Their bodies are so good. They must exercise regularly." After a while, everyone in the stadium gathered around to watch the two of them compete. Liu Beichen glared at Gu Jingze. He was so busy. How could he have time to practice? But he was so good at it. He was so difficult to deal with. "Jingze, is it really okay for you to fight me like this? Let me tell you, the Liu family lent you the bridge construction equipment tomorrow." "Oh." Gu Jingze looked at him. "I think you've forgotten that your family is still bidding for the next phase of the Bay project. If you win the bid, you'll get 1.3 billion. Are you sure you want to offend me, the person in charge of the project?" "You." "All right, if you lose today, I'll give you the management rights of Qianming Mall. That's like giving you a 300 million annual turnover. Haha, I won't do anything if you lose. All I know is that if you win, I'll give Zhong Tinji Jingyan's contact number. He's been chasing after her for so many years, but he's never gotten her number." Gu Jingze was too vicious. Really vicious. Lin Che and Gu Jingyan watched from the side. Lin Che's body trembled. He thought to himself, these big CEOs are just playing bowling. Do they need to threaten me with a few 100 million? She really wanted to say, "Give me the money and I'll confess to men on your behalf." But what was the last one? Liu Beichen gritted his teeth and snorted. "It's just confessing to men. What are you afraid of?" "I'm not afraid. This kind of degrading thing is more suitable for you," Gu Jingze said. "Just you wait." Liu Beichen threw another grand slam. Soon it was the 10th round. Both of them still had a grand slam. The people around them couldn't help but be excited. These two were too awesome. They didn't want to give in to each other. If both of them didn't make any mistakes in this match, there wouldn't be a result even if they competed for a day. However, even if they competed for a day, they were willing to watch. After all, both of them were handsome and their throwing movements were so beautiful. Lin Che was about to say something when she heard a girl shouting, "Go, go, go! You're so handsome." Lin Che turned around and realized that there were so many people on both sides. She couldn't help but sigh. Really, she attracted attention everywhere she went. As a result, even though she was a famous celebrity, she didn't stand out as much among them. Some people looked over curiously. However, they were sitting with their backs facing them, so the men and women could only guess who the two good-looking beauties were too. Lin Che really wanted to see Gu Jingze confess to men. She had never seen Gu Jingze so embarrassed before. She was really looking forward to it. However, in her heart, she didn't want Gu Jingze to lose. Because in her heart, Gu Jingze seemed to have never lost to anyone. Chapter 550. Lin Che stood up and watched as the two players were about to play the last one. He wondered if it would be a grand slam again. Just then, Liu Beichen picked up the ball. Gu Jingze looked at Liu Beichen suddenly and said casually, "Oh yeah, have you read Jingyan's diary?" Liu Beichen looked at Gu Jingze and asked, "What did you say?" Gu Jingze looked up and said, "Jingyan kept a diary when she was in high school. There are probably more than 10 of them at home. Haven't you read them?" He and Gu Jingyan were very independent. He had never cared about Gu Jingyan's things. But what about the diary? Was there anything about him? It was not impossible. In high school, they were very familiar with each other. He was curious about what she had written about him in the diary. He was also curious about his place in her heart when they were in high school. That was all Gu Jingze said. He looked at him with a smile and signaled for him to continue. Fuck. He had never seen someone as cunning as Gu Jingze. How could he be so shameless in the last round? However, Liu Beichen looked at it for a moment before he slowly threw the ball. Then, the ball quickly went to one side. Only 4 players were knocked down. The rest only moved a little. Ayah! What a pity! The people beside him exclaimed. Lin Che stood up immediately. He thought to himself, what's going on? It seems like Gu Jingze said something to Liu Beichen just now, and after that, Liu Beichen seems to give up on his own accord. But what did he say? Gu Jingze made his move next. He turned around and looked at Liu Beichen. There was a faint smile on his lips that made him look mysterious. Then, he threw the ball confidently. Just like before, there was no hesitation at all. The result was as expected. It was another grand slam. Gu Jingze won just like that. Lin Che jumped up and ran over saying, "Wow, Liu Beichen, are you admitting defeat now? Are you going to confess to a man?" Gu Jingyan said, "I told you that you can't beat my second brother. Go and confess." Liu Beichen glared at Gu Jingyan. She turned around, wiped the white powder off her hands, and hurriedly put her arm around Gu Jingze's shoulder. She lowered her head and said, "Hey, I lost, right? You should tell me." "Tell you what?" Gu Jingze asked. Liu Beichen said, "Did you read Gu Jingyan's diary? Tell me what was written in it." Gu Jingze calmly wiped his hands and looked at him innocently. "Oh, you mean that? Hurry up and tell me, don't play dumb with me," Liu Beichen said. Gu Jingze said, "I saw her diary, but I didn't see the content. Do you think I'm the kind of person who would read someone else's diary?" Liu Beichen's face turned red with anger. "Gu Jingze. What? Then why did you say you saw it?" "I said that I've read the diary. It's true." "You? All right." Liu Beichen was tricked by him. He finally knew that he had done it on purpose. Gu Jingyan said, "Hey, what are you doing? Don't tell me you've forgotten. Go confess." Gu Jingyan went over to pull Liu Beichen away. Liu Beichen looked at her speechlessly. He could only say, "Fuck. I'm a man of my word. I don't want some people to be despicable." He pointed at Gu Jingze. Gu Jingze raised his eyebrows and looked in his direction. He elegantly picked up his glass and took a sip of water. He didn't care at all. Anyway, he won no matter what tricks he used. Liu Beichen snorted and walked out. Gu Jingyan quickly followed him and pulled Lin Che along. "Let's go. Let's help him find someone to confess to." The two of them were gloating. Looking at the men going in and out of the stadium, Gu Jingyan said, "Hey, how about that fat man? He looks tough." Lin Che said, "Hey, how about that one? He has a girlfriend." "Ha ha ha, you're better than me." Good, let him confess to the one with a girlfriend." She quickly pushed Liu Beichen. Go, Liu Beichen. You lost the bet. Don't say you don't want to go anymore. Hurry up and go." Liu Beichen looked at them awkwardly. He could only look at them speechlessly and said, All right, I'll go. Why are you pushing me away? I said I'll go, and I won't go back on my word. However, Liu Beichen had never done something as embarrassing as confessing to a man before. He looked over and scratched his head awkwardly, thinking that the sooner he died, the sooner he could be reincarnated. So he still walked over in a few steps. Lin Che and Gu Jingyan were giggling behind him. They felt like their stomachs were going to explode from holding in their laughter. Liu Beichen walked over and said, "Hey, wait a minute." It was a man and a woman. The man was quite good-looking and the woman was quite pretty. When they saw Liu Beichen stop them, they thought it was strange and looked confused. But seeing that Liu Beichen was handsome and bright, the woman smiled. She looked at him and said, "What's up?" Liu Beichen looked at the man and said quickly, "I love you. I want to be with you and never be apart from you." The man was completely stunned. You. What are you saying? The woman was stunned for a moment. Then, she covered her mouth and looked overjoyed. After Liu Beichen said that, he muttered, "Damn it, what the hell is this? Gu Jingza, I'll remember you for the rest of my life." Then, without caring about what the two of them thought, he quickly turned around and left. Ha 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 ha. Lin Che and Gu Jingyan were dying of laughter. Especially when the woman looked so happy. It was hilarious. It was obvious that girls were very tolerant of such things nowadays. Gu Jingyan said, "I think the girl is very happy. Why don't we just let Liu Beichen be with her?" Lin Che said, "Yeah, it's mainly because Liu Beichen is handsome. If he's ugly, she probably won't be very happy. Now that she can see two handsome guys together, of course she's happy." Just then, Liu Beichen returned. Gu Jingyan quickly said, "Not bad, not bad. That's a good confession. Looks like you're very talented in this area." "Enough. Don't mention it again. Alright, let's go eat. Gu Jingza is treating us. I'm going to make him pay for it." With that, Liu Beichen strode into Gu Jingza's restaurant as if he was sharpening his knife. The four of them drove away and soon arrived at a more expensive Japanese restaurant. Liu Beichen said, "Sigh, I can't bear to do anything to you. Let's just eat something mediocre. If it's too expensive, you don't have to pay." Lin Che looked up at him speechlessly. It was mediocre here. She knew this place. She had heard that a meal here cost more than 10,000 yuan. It was said that the ingredients were flown in from Japan, and all the sashimi and seafood were delivered on the same day. Chapter 551. Liu Beichen was very familiar with the place. It seemed like he came here often. "I want the private room inside," he said and pointed to the innermost one. The private room was Japanese style. After entering, he sat down cross-legged and unceremoniously ordered the dishes. Gu Jingza didn't seem to mind and ordered whatever he wanted. When the food was served, everyone ate together. Gu Jingyan said, "I had a great time today. Sister-in-law, do you want to come out again?" "Yeah, it's okay to come out with Lin Che. But Lin Che, don't bring your husband." Liu Beichen snorted. He still couldn't get over what had happened. Gu Jingza said, "You lost the bet. What else do you have to say? That's your dirty trick. This is to teach you a lesson. There are many open and hidden attacks in the business world. If you can't even handle my little trick, how are you going to support Jingyan in the future?" "Ha, all right, I'm not as experienced as you. After all, you've been in the business world for so many years and you've never lost." Speaking of which, Liu Beichen pitted his enemies. With this guy around, they had suffered so many losses. Luckily, the Liu family had always been on the same side as the Gu family. Liu Beichen thought to himself that he couldn't stand on the opposite side of Gu Jingza. Gu Jingyan said, "All right, second brother always tricked us when we were young. You're not used to it yet. You'll be fine when you get used to it." Gu Jingyan looked at Lin Che and said, "You don't know this. When we were young, we hired a home tutor. In the end, second brother urged the four of us to go out and play. He made Gu Jingyu pretend to have a stomachache to lure the home tutor out. Then the rest of us sneaked out and father found out. When we came back, only second brother was sitting there reading a book. It turns out that before he ran out, he had already bribed the security guard at the entrance to tell him when father came back. He didn't tell us because he was worried that no one would reprimand father, would investigate and expose him as the mastermind. In the end, The three of us were punished and he escaped. Sigh, Lin Che said. Wow, you're so evil. Gu Jingze was still eating calmly. There's nothing too deceitful in war. Gu Jingyan still wanted to say something but her hand was burned. Ouch. She threw the cup away and took a step back subconsciously. Liu Beichen hurriedly threw down his chopsticks and said, What's wrong with you? Ouch, I say, Gu Jingyan, you're an adult and you can still get scalded. Let me see where you're scolded. Liu Beichen hurriedly looked at her hand. Seeing that it was red, he lowered his head and blew at it. As he did so, he said, Look at you. I told you that you never knew how to be mindful and multitask. Look at you now. I scolded you and you're still scolding me. Do you have any compassion? What's the use of loving you? You're so annoying. Let go. I don't need you to look. Hey, I still want to see it. Give me your hand. Let me see. You're rebelling. Get lost, I don't need you to look. I still want to see it. Let me see it. At this moment, the waiter also came in. Seeing the two of them arguing, he didn't dare to say anything. He could only wait until the two of them were done arguing before saying, Mr. Liu, madam, we have medicine here. We're really sorry. We were careless and scolded you. Today's dishes will be 50% free of charge. Hearing this, Liu Beichen raised his head and said, It's your fault that I was scalded, but you don't have to pay for it. President Gu is treating today. Hee, not only will you have to pay for it, but you can also get some tips. The waiter really liked these rich people. If it were someone else, he would have rebelled and asked for free. But they didn't want free food and said that. Rich people were indeed rich people. Seeing the two of them like this, Lin Che felt that Liu Beichen was actually concerned about Gu Jingyan. But these two were really enemies. They didn't give in to each other. There was no other way. This meal was indeed expensive. The four of them went home. Gu Jingze called someone to pick them up and let them go first. Lin Che was about to go back when he received a call from Yu Minmin. He said that there would be a celebrity charity dinner in a few days and he hoped that she would attend it. Lin Che said that she would do as she saw fit. After this trip, Lin Che had indeed thrown all his troubles to the back of his mind. The next day, he met up with Yu Minmin to discuss their future plans. After the studio was set up, they were going to look for some celebrities who were worth grooming. They wanted to work together with Lin Che. After all, the profits would be limited. Yu Minmin asked for Lin Che's opinion. Lin Che said, If it can make money, of course it's okay. Yu Minmin said, Because some celebrities only want to be themselves. That way, they won't have to share their resources with others. Lin Che said, I've always felt that when it comes to resources, we shouldn't fight with each other. Instead, we should work together to fight for resources from the outside. If I'm the only celebrity, our style is fixed and our resources are fixed, we won't be able to expand further. But if there are other celebrities, it'll be different. There will be all sorts of resources and we can expand together, right? Yu Minmin looked at Lin Che. Not bad. You've indeed improved after following Gu Jingze. That's because I'm a smart person. I don't usually exert myself because I want to give others a way out. Otherwise, if I'm too smart, how can others live? All right. You're too full of yourself. But the witchcraft notes will probably be filmed in some dangerous places. You have to be careful. Life will be tough. Forget it, I understand. Filming has always been a tough job. I don't mind if it's a little tough. That's how it is anyway. Hi. Yu Minmin patted Lin Che's shoulder. Say, Ling Dong must be regretting it to death. They didn't want an obedient, sensible, and unafraid artist like you, yet they insisted on an artist like Qin Wan who's so troublesome. Forget it. I'll use my actions to tell them that I'll have a better life without them. That's right. Yu Minmin said. Let's work hard together. The charity gala was organized by a famous fashion magazine, Micro Force. This fashion magazine had always been worshipped by many fashionistas. They always felt that their fashion magazine was the best magazine to measure the current trend of fashion. Hence, many celebrities had participated in their magazine's print shoots. Some big names were proud of being on the magazine's cover. It was as if being chosen meant that they had become a fashionista and could lead the trend. It was as if their taste had been recognized. However, Lin Che had never been chosen to be on the cover. Perhaps it was because Lin Che didn't really follow the fashion route, so he didn't pay much attention to it. When Yu Minmin showed Lin Che the schedule, she told him in advance, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. A few days ago, Qin Wan Wan was on the cover." Chapter 552. Well, Lin Che understood. Yu Minmin was worried that he would be compared and laughed at because he had never been photographed before. Lin Che said, "But isn't it hard to get invited?" "That's right. You're one of the more outstanding celebrities this year and you're on the rise. That's why they invited you. Most small-time celebrities don't even have the right to stand in the front row and take pictures. You seem to be sitting in the front row, which shows how much they value you. It can also be seen from the schedule that they invited you with great sincerity." Lin Che said, "Then I'd better go. If I don't go, I'll offend such a big brand fashion magazine and I'll probably be slandered to death." Okay. Yu Minmin helped her plan the dress style for the gala. Since it was a fashion magazine gala, she reckoned that many people would dress fashionably. Lin Che felt that he was an actor and didn't pay much attention to fashion, so he wasn't sure. In the end, Yu Minmin worked with the stylist and decided to let her dress simply. Yu Minmin said, "Beauty has become popular these 2 years. I think a lot of people will wear that kind of black suit. Many female celebrities have done that before and won good reviews, so let's not join in the fun." In the end, she chose a pair of black wide-legged pants for Lin Che with a spaghetti strap, revealing her small waist and beautiful collarbones. She wore a pair of wide-soled high heels and carried a bright-colored bag. The overall style was simple, but it accentuated her figure. On the day of the gala, Yu Minmin looked at Lin Che and asked, "What did you donate for the shoot?" Lin Che said, "I asked Gu Jingza if there was anything I could donate. Anyway, it's for charity. Using his things would help him accumulate good karma. Gu Jingza told me to pick out some decorations at home. I picked a gown that I wore at the Golden Awards and asked if there were any fans who wanted it. Since I've already worn it, I might as well sell it at a low price." Yu Minmin was speechless. Just pick some decorations. Isn't he afraid that you'll tear down his house? Gu Jingza doesn't care about that. He said that all the things at home are done by his mother-in-law, so he doesn't have time to participate in the design. Yu Minmin took out the ornament and looked at it. Indeed, it looked like an ordinary crystal ornament. It didn't seem to be that valuable. Fine. If it were someone else, I would be worried that she would be laughed at for taking something worthless. But it's you. I'm really worried that Gu Jingza will feel sorry for you if he finds out that you took something too valuable." "Of course not. When I left, I specifically asked him if he could do it. He just took a glance at it and said whatever. I strongly suspect that he doesn't even know what it is." The two of them chatted and laughed as they went inside. In the blink of an eye, the reporters had already approached them. Looking at Lin Che, the reporter didn't stand on ceremony and asked directly, "What auction items did you bring today?" Lin Che smiled and said, "It's just a few random decorations. Let's see if anyone wants them." "Is it a decoration in your house? Can you show it to us first so that we can take a look?" "Oh, of course." She took out the crystal and showed it to everyone. When the reporters saw this, they immediately lost interest. It was such a simple thing. "This is Lin Che's first time attending Whaley's charity dinner, right?" the reporter asked. Lin Che could hear the disdain in his voice. "That's right. It's my first time. Is there a problem?" What the reporter meant was that it was her first time here, so she didn't know what was going on. Was that why the auction items she brought were so lousy? She had brought it casually. Charity was something that should be done quickly and efficiently. It wasn't a competition. The reporter felt uncomfortable under Lin Che's calm gaze and immediately shrank back. Everyone felt that it was not easy to fool Lin Che now. She was no longer the quiet girl who had just become popular. After all, she was now very popular. How dare this reporter speak to her with such disdain? This reporter must be the newcomer. However, the reporter behind immediately asked, "Lin Che, have you not filmed Whaley yet?" Lin Che said, "That's right. I haven't filmed it yet." "Do you want to do it?" "Of course I do. No one asked me to do it. Perhaps the clothes I wear aren't fashionable at all. I just like to wear comfortable clothes, so I feel like I'm lying to my fans. But I still want to do it. Otherwise, if Whaley could come up with a celebrity fashion makeover plan, I would be able to do it. Lin Che knew that these people would always compare her with Qin Wan Wan. They would laugh at her for not having shot in a magazine and not being fashionable enough. She might as well say it first and shut their mouths. The reporters were indeed speechless. Everyone laughed and let Lin Che off. After Lin Che entered, she heard someone say, "I heard that Qin Wan Wan donated a car to the auction. It's worth a few million." That's generous. Yeah. So Qin Wan Wan donated a luxury car worth a few million. She was really rich. Lin Che didn't think too much about it. Previously, he heard that some rich fans were willing to bid $1 million for a celebrity's private clothes. Lin Che thought that he could only count on these rich fans to help him out. However, he didn't seem to have many rich fans. She didn't meet her fans many times and hadn't cultivated any loyal nouveau riche fans. It was said that Qin Wan Wan had quite a few nouveau riche fans who would follow her wherever she went to film and would even fork out money to give gifts to the members of the fan club. However, Lin Che had to deal with many other things besides being a celebrity, such as the Gu family's affairs, so he really neglected his fans. It was impossible for him to make a last-minute effort now. He could only sigh and find his seat to sit down. Before he started, he heard someone from the organization call out, Lin Che, you're here. Don't be in a hurry to sit down. Go take a group photo while everyone is here." "Ha. Okay." Lin Che stood up and saw that not everyone could take a group photo with him. Many small-time celebrities who weren't too famous were still sitting in their seats. Their hearts were filled with envy as they watched Lin Che stand up. Lin Che looked around and walked over. When he reached the front, he saw that the celebrities who walked up to the front to take a group photo were all famous and relatively popular recently. The organizer was very good at starting a conversation. When he saw Lin Che, he said, "Hey, you guys are similar in age, standing together. Heh, the 4 little stars are all here today. Not bad." Qin Wan Wan was also among them. She smiled at Lin Che. Next to her was Wang Qingchu and another little star. Among the 4, the other 2 obviously weren't as famous as these 2. So they looked at Lin Che and Qin Wan Wan with strange expressions. They harumphed as though they were unconvinced and didn't want to do anything on the surface. They didn't even greet them. Chapter 553. Lin Che and Qin Wan Wan stood next to each other. The organizer purposely pushed the 2 of them together and said with a smile, Come. You 2 are close. Come closer and be more intimate." Close. It wasn't that Lin Che didn't know what the organizer was thinking. They probably wanted to create more conversation this way. But Lin Che didn't care. Comparison was comparison. He wasn't afraid of comparison. In any case, she felt that she and Qin Wan Wan were becoming more and more incomparable. Whether it was in terms of acting skills or image, as they developed, they were becoming more and more fixed. They were no longer like before when they couldn't find a direction. Perhaps their image was still somewhat similar, but now, Lin Che was becoming more and more androgynous and down-to-earth while Qin Wan Wan was still walking the path of the nation's goddess, gentle and beautiful. The 2 of them stood together. Qin Wan Wan looked at Lin Che quietly. "You look good today." "Yeah, you too," Lin Che said. Qin Wan Wan said, "But I heard that you haven't acted in Whaley before. You should ask your manager. You're so popular. How can you not have acted in Whaley before?" Lin Che said, "Forget it. I don't really care about fashion anyway. It's fine if I haven't acted in it." Qin Wan Wan wanted to be sarcastic. Hearing her say that, she didn't say anything but she snorted coldly in her heart. Then, Qin Wan Wan asked Lin Che curiously, "Oh yeah, I heard that you're going to donate something today. Have you prepared anything?" "Yeah, some accessories at home." "Accessories? Then they must be very valuable, right?" Qin Wan Wan asked. Lin Che said, "Not really. Didn't they say that they want us to donate things we don't need so that our fans can buy them?" Qin Wan Wan was speechless when she heard this and said, "You don't really believe this kind of nonsense, do you? We don't have any particularly powerful nouveau riche fans who are willing to buy our things." Other things can only sell for a few 100,000 at most, unless you've already found someone to act as your fan in advance and buy it yourself. She looked up at Lin Che, as if confirming that Lin Che had already done it. Lin Che said, "Is that even possible? I didn't think too much about it. Anyway, it's charity. As long as I do what I can, it's fine. If I have so much money and buy my own things, then the money would be donated to charity, wouldn't it?" Qin Wanwan could only cover her mouth and laugh. She thought to herself, Lin Che can't really be that simple, right? What you donated, who photographed it, and how much you spent would all be broadcasted by the media. If you donated less, you would definitely be ridiculed by the reporters. However, when she looked at Lin Che, she felt that Lin Che wasn't that smart. She didn't say anything. She heard the cameraman say, "Everyone, look in front. Okay, stand properly." Just like that, everyone took a group photo together. However, when the media reported it, they found that the 4 most popular actresses were all there. However, each of the 4 of them developed differently. Among them, Lin Che and Qin Wanwan developed the best. So Lin Che and Qin Wanwan were the only ones talking and ignoring the other 2. Lin Che also felt depressed after reading the report. She wasn't familiar with the other 2 people either. They weren't even close to each other, so why did she have to awkwardly greet and chat with them? The media really knew how to write. After the photo was taken, everyone returned to their seats. Next to Lin Che were some people he wasn't familiar with, and a few people away was Qin Wanwan. Gu Jingyu was filming overseas and didn't come back. Mu Firen also didn't come back because of personal matters. This was probably the reason why Lin Che and Qin Wanwan were used by the organizers to create hype. The auction soon began. Seeing that the items being auctioned were all very expensive, Lin Che was also looking at the starting bid for the item he was going to bring. She was just worried that no one would bid for her item. That would be embarrassing. She thought that if no one bid for it, she would stand up and take it herself. Then she could say that she donated it to charity. That way, it wouldn't be too embarrassing. Lin Che looked back. This side was filled with celebrities, while the other side was filled with fans who participated in the charity auction. These fans looked like they were all rich people, and they sat in a very dignified manner. Lin Che watched as the host auctioned off Wang Qingchu's item. It was an expensive bag, and it was said to be a limited edition bag. It wasn't sold on the market, and it was auctioned off. The starting price was $400,000, and very quickly, the price of the bag shot up to a few million. Eventually, it was won by a perverted 40-year-old man. Lin Che thought to herself, "Oh my god, a bag can be sold for a few million yuan." She really felt that she should have gone to Gu Jingza's place to see if there were any expensive items. She shouldn't have come with a simple accessory. But since she had no other choice, she could only bite the bullet and come. Below the stage, the host said excitedly, "Next, our generous Miss Qin Wanwan has brought her luxury car to the auction. This is her private car that she used for a year. I believe there's still the smell of Wanwan's perfume in it. Qin Wanwan claims that this car is her favorite car, but she is duty-bound to do charity, so she's willing to donate her beloved car. This luxury car is worth 4 million yuan, and it's even used by Qin Wanwan." Wow, Qin Wanwan is so rich. The small-time artists couldn't help but discuss in a low voice. That's enough. She has someone supporting her. How could she be so rich just from acting? Moreover, she has only debuted for a few years. Her management company has always taken the majority of the profits, and the artists themselves don't get much. It's great to have someone supporting her. Sigh, people like us can't find anyone to support us. Those people looked at Lin Che, who was at the side, and tactfully shut their mouths. Lin Che was the same as Qin Wanwan. In their eyes, they both became more and more popular because they hooked up with powerful people. As for them, they also hooked up with powerful people, but they weren't powerful enough, so they couldn't catch up with them. The good resources were in their hands, and they could only get things that they looked down on and couldn't keep up with the schedule. So, seeing Lin Che here, they didn't say anything. Anyway, they weren't in the same world. Qin Wanwan was a famous star, and they were only half famous. The appearance fees were all there. Lin Che looked in front and saw that Qin Wanwan indeed had someone helping her. In the end, the car was sold for a high price of 8 million yuan. It was won by a young rich second-generation heir. Qin Wan Wan even stood up to thank him. Then, the host took out the auction items that Lin Che had donated. Chapter 554. This piece of jewelry is a diamond accessory. The donor is Lin Che. I can see that the diamond is quite big. The starting price is $400,000. The host looked over. Because the price of the jewelry was quite complicated, this piece of jewelry didn't look new. It should be an old item and Lin Che didn't give any introduction, so the host was quite depressed. Everyone looked at Lin Che. They thought to themselves, compared to him, Qin Wan Wan is much more generous. Look at how stingy Lin Che is. He donated something for only $400,000. He must think that she wore it before, so he raised the starting price quite a bit. Since the starting price is so low, it shouldn't be anything good. A diamond for $400,000, so it shouldn't be a good piece of jewelry. Bringing this kind of jewelry to be auctioned here was too degrading. Lin Che sat there and watched. The people next to him all looked over. Seeing that no one had any reaction, Lin Che thought to himself hesitantly. Oh no, it looks like no one will bid for it now. Is she going to stand up and say that she did it herself? She sat there and was about to get up on her own when... Suddenly, someone stood up and said, "The starting price is $1 million. Don't fight with me." Everyone turned to look. It was the son of a rich family. He looked like a domineering young man in his 20s. Looks like he's Lin Che's fan. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so generous. Everyone was a little envious. No matter what, Lin Che was blessed to have such a generous fan and such a young rich kid at that. If Lin Che fell in love with someone, he would marry into a rich family and become a young mistress. However, just as this fan finished speaking, another person stood up. "Why don't I fight with you? Why do you have to set the starting price? I'll bid $2 million. Everyone looked over. Another rich kid stood up. I know him. Is he the son of Wanxing Technology?" Everyone took a look and found that the previously lively auction had suddenly become incomparably lively. Since someone was fighting for it, of course it would be a hot topic. The previous fan stood up and said, "Hey, why are you fighting for it? Are you Lin Che's fan? I've watched all of Lin Che's dramas and movies. I even booked a few of Lin Che's movies." Only then did Lin Che remember. Wasn't this the passionate fan he had met in France during the concert? He was really persistent everywhere. At this time the other man also shouted. Without waiting for the two people to finish, another man inside said slowly, "I'll pay $5 million. Everyone was in an uproar again. Looking at those people, they were speechless. These people were really crazy. Receiving these surprised gazes, the man sat there and even snorted. These people didn't know anything about the market. They all knew Lin Che's identity. After the WW party, everyone who attended the party knew about Lin Che's relationship with Gu Jingze. Although they usually didn't care much about the entertainment industry, Lin Che was different. She was allowed to attend WW events. No matter how much they spent, it wouldn't be too much to fawn over Lin Che. So he wasn't Lin Che's fan, but this jewelry represented Gu Jingze. If anyone knew it was Gu Jingze's, they would rush to buy it. What's more, a few million wasn't something that they couldn't afford. Seeing that the price had suddenly soared to $5 million, that person didn't give in. "Fuck, $6 million. You have $6 million? I have $7 million. Okay, I'll pay $10 million straight away. Fuck, are you really going to compete with me? I'll pay $15 million. Fuck, I don't believe it. I'll pay $20 million. Everyone in the room went completely crazy. Could these people really fork out so much money? Why did it sound like money was just a few numbers when they talked about it? Lin Che held her forehead. She was starting to get a headache. These people were really crazy. She knew that these people must have something to do with WW's party, otherwise they wouldn't be so generous. She didn't have such generous fans. At this moment, she didn't know what to do. Seeing the motherboard below, she hurriedly asked someone to mediate the situation, in case something happened. "Miss Lin has also donated a gown. Please don't compete with her." The man who had met Lin Che in France heard this and said immediately, "Gown? I'll pay 5 million. If anyone wants to compete with me, I'll fight you to the end. They looked at him. After being mediated, their anger subsided a little. This matter finally came to an end. In the end, the jewelry was won for 20 million and the gown was won by that crazy fan for 5 million. This time, Whaley really felt that they underestimated Lin Che's influence. Sure enough, asking Lin Che to come was the right choice. Now the charity fund increased by so much. Although the things she donated weren't as good as Qin Wanwan's, she didn't expect her fans to be so supportive. Someone in the back said in private, "No wonder Lin Che brought such a simple thing. He's confident." So many rich people are so infatuated with Lin Che. I wonder where he gets his charisma. We should learn more from Lin Che in the future. It looks like it's useless to only dress like Qin Wanwan and dress like a fairy. These rich people like Lin Che's style now. They hurriedly went to see what Lin Che looked like and decided to dress the way Lin Che dressed next time. In the end, the charity auction came to a successful conclusion. However, no one had expected that the biggest winner this time would actually be Lin Che. Even though Qin Wanwan donated a few million worth of her belongings, Lin Che still beat her to it in the end. When she left, she was holding back her anger. She ignored everyone and got into her car. Sister Zhang heard about what happened inside and quickly said to Qin Wanwan, "All right, don't be angry. Didn't we all know that Lin Che likes to play dirty? He didn't reveal anything at first because he's too scheming. We're indeed not his match in this aspect, but the fact that he treats you as an opponent shows that you're indeed capable. That's why he keeps targeting you. We can't beat him this time, but there's always a next time, right?" When Qin Wanwan heard that, she nodded. "That's right. He's targeting me on purpose because he wants me dead. I won't die in front of him. Humph. Go and check again to see if there's a traitor here. Why does he always seem to know about my situation and counterattack like this every time?" All right. Lin Che was innocent. There was no traitor at all in the world. However, Qin Wanwan really treated her as an enemy, so she started to fake other plots. Chapter 555. When Lin Che returned home and saw Gu Jingze, she ran over to him. Gu Jingze was still working. Before the helper could tell him that Master Gu was busy, Lin Che had already pounced on him. She hugged Gu Jingze's neck and straddled his thighs. "Gu Jingze, something happened today." Gu Jingze was stunned. He stared at Lin Che with a strange expression. Lin Che was stunned. She seemed to have realized that something was wrong. When she turned around, she took a look. Gu Jingze was video chatting with someone. Ah! Lin Che wanted to run away immediately, but Gu Jingze pulled her back. Gu Jingze unhurriedly locked the laptop. He then turned around and looked at Lin Che. "It's nothing. It's just some company business. It's not very important." If Lin Che was not mistaken, the people on the laptop were the company's employees. They were gathered in the conference room and watching the scene in a daze. Ah! It was so embarrassing. "Gosh, your employees. Don't tell me that you have such an unreserved woman sitting on you the moment she came in?" Gu Jingze said, "But you're not reserved. What are you worried about?" All right, being reserved had nothing to do with her. But it was still embarrassing to be seen by so many people. Gu Jingze said, "All right, don't worry about them. You haven't told me what happened." The people outside were worried that Lin Che would disturb Gu Jingze, so they looked on anxiously. However, Gu Jingze didn't seem to feel that he was being delayed at all. Instead, he asked Lin Che to stay. They said that Mr. and Mrs. were different, and that they had been worried too much. So, the servant looked at the sweet couple who were still hugging each other and closed the door quietly. Lin Che looked at Gu Jingze and told him about the charity event. She mentioned that someone was willing to spend a lot of money to buy her things. Of course, Gu Jingze had already thought about it. Because of Gu Jingze's name, whatever she donated wouldn't be cheap. He smiled and said, "What does it matter?" Lin Che felt uncomfortable. She felt that they were using money to buy their relationship with Gu Jingze. "I just don't feel happy." Gu Jingze said, "Think about it this way. Anyway, this is for charity, right? Where will the donations go today?" "Oh, it will be used in some schools and children with leukemia, mainly to help those poor children," Lin Che said. Gu Jingza said, "It's not a big deal to sell my name to raise money for so many children." Thinking about it, it did seem to be the case. Lin Che said, "All right, I feel much better thinking about it this way." "Yes, but I'm not feeling well." "What?" Gu Jingza squinted at her. "Why? Can't you feel it?" This feeling. Yes, she felt it. There was something down there, poking at her thigh. "Seriously, hey, Gu Jingza, you just ran over and sat on me. What do you think?" Lin Che blushed. She just needed someone to talk to, so she came to Gu Jingza. She felt uncomfortable, so she didn't think of anything else. Who knew? Gu Jingza picked Lin Che up in one go. "Hey, you forgot you're still in a meeting." "They should have guessed that I can't have a meeting with you sitting on my thigh." Lin Che felt too ashamed to face anyone. The next day, the news about Lin Che at the Whaley Charity Gala was shocking. Because her things were snatched by her fans, outsiders suddenly felt that she was really famous and had a lot of fans. But the people in the industry only felt that Lin Che was really fooling these rich second generations. The next day, some people went to the studio to bribe Lin Che's stylist, wanting to poach her. They felt that Lin Che's style should be unique, so those rich second generations liked her so much. But in fact, Lin Che herself didn't know what style she had. But there were still some discordant things in the report. Some netizens questioned whether these people were real, or whether Lin Che had purposely hired people to pretend to be her fans to snatch her things, so that she could raise herself. It was just like in some auctions, there would always be a few people who would buy things, in fact, to raise the price of the auction item, so that they could sell it to people who didn't know how to do it. The report also reported the netizens' guesses. Luckily, very soon, someone dug out that those few rich people were not ordinary people. Every one of them could smash the faces of those so-called 4 young masters of the capital. But because these rich people usually kept a low profile, they didn't need to show their faces to promote their businesses, so not many people knew about it. This time, the netizens who made wild guesses were slapped in the face, and very soon, they fell silent. On the other hand, Lin Che's fans immediately rushed out when they saw this, saying that Lin Che really did so many innocent things for no reason. These people loved to guess Lin Che this and that, but Lin Che was too lazy to refute them, and only knew how to speak with facts. Lin Che didn't care about that. She was busy packing her things. She was going to the countryside to shoot the outdoor scenes in a mountainous area. Because this television series had many outdoor scenes, and the director wanted to be more refined, he preferred to use real scenes, so the entire crew had to go to the ravine first. Gu Jingza asked someone to help her pack her things. He watched as she packed the mosquito repellent products, a small fan, sunscreen, and a large parasol. He said, "It's very tiring out there. Otherwise, I would have brought someone to take care of you." Lin Che said quickly, "Forget it. This is nothing. I used to have to lie in the water for a whole day when I played a dead person." Gu Jingza naturally felt sorry for her. He looked at her and said, "Okay, take good care of yourself. I'll visit you when I have time." "Yeah, it's okay. You're so busy. I have to visit you from time to time." "Okay." The servants had actually helped Lin Che pack a lot of things. They felt sorry for Madame when they saw her working so hard, carrying so many instant noodles, pickled vegetables, and ham sausages. They felt that it wasn't good for the Gu family's young mistress to go out and suffer like this. But she had no choice but to go to film. The servants also felt that only a wife like Lin Che, who was already a young mistress, still liked to work so much. Other young mistresses just went shopping and traveled every day, and they didn't know how comfortable they were. But this also showed that their young mistress was a good person and independent. The nanny van was ready, and Lin Che would be sent directly to the set. In the end, she kissed Gu Jingza before leaving. The production crew of The Witchcraft Notes had already gone to prepare. Lin Che joined the production crew just in time. A few male actors had already started filming. When she arrived, everything that the production crew needed was already prepared. The production crew was indeed in a ravine. The place where they stayed was estimated to be a 2-hour drive from the filming location. So if there was enough time, they would go back. If not, they would just make do in the wilderness. Chapter 556. Fortunately, There were facilities outside and they had rented some houses from the same hometown. After tidying up, they could sleep in a simple room. When Lin Che first arrived, the director personally received him. After that, he looked at this spotless girl a little uneasily. She looked clean and very rich, like a flower in a greenhouse. He said to her, "The conditions here are very difficult. If you don't want to, we can extend the time every day. You can film earlier and go back to town earlier. There are hotels there, and the conditions will definitely be better than here." Lin Che looked at them and said, "It's okay, it's okay. I can persevere as long as you don't let me sleep on the floor." The director quickly said, "Don't think that we're complimenting you. It's just because you're a girl." Lin Che immediately said, "Don't look down on girls. Men can take hardships, and so can I. Don't worry, I won't be a burden to the production team. Just do what needs to be done. I just want a place to sleep." The director was very surprised to see this. These celebrities were different from the past. He was an old director and had experienced the actors of the past. They were really hardworking. They didn't want a lot of pay, but they still did the hardest work. They endured hardships with the rest of the staff, and they would even help to move things when they were free. It was just that this generation was no longer an actor. Now that she had become a celebrity, she was no longer a celebrity. She had become precious, so he had to serve her well. Thus, there weren't many people like Lin Che who directly said that they didn't care about anything. The director thought that choosing her was the right choice. He said, "An actor who is willing to endure hardships is a good actor. Your achievements in the future will definitely be very high." "Director, you're too good at praising people. I'm serious. Only actors who study acting hard and don't just think about their own enjoyment can perform good works." Lin Che said, "I know, director. I'll definitely act well." Mo Huiling was at home. Every day, she received calls from the Gu family asking her why she hadn't aborted the child. At the side, Li Mingyu was a little annoyed. He looked at Mo Huiling and said, "Forget it. Just abort the child. I thought that their family would be able to accept the child, but now it seems that you've been completely ignored." How could Mo Huiling be satisfied? No. Thinking about how heartless the Gu family was to her, especially Mu Wanqing, this was her grandson, yet she didn't care at all. These people were too heartless. What was a human life to them? Mo Huiling said, "Not everyone in the Gu family isn't interested in children." Li Mingyu looked at her and said, "What are you trying to do? You're still pregnant. Don't make fun of yourself." Mo Huiling said directly, "Help me contact Gu Jing's aunt." Although that woman's status in the Gu family was definitely inferior to Mu Wanqing's, because Mu Wanqing was the mistress of the family after all, she was still a member of the Gu family. No matter what, she could help her. Sure enough, after contacting Gu Lanshan, she immediately agreed to meet up. Gu Lanshan didn't have much of a relationship with Mo Huiling to begin with. She had treated Mo Huiling the same way in the past, neither liking nor disliking her. Gu Lanshan just hated the feeling of Mu Wanqing suddenly being in charge of the family. Even her father, Gu Xianda, liked Mu Wanqing a lot. Gu Lanshan said, "Huiling, it's useless for you to look for me. I know that you and Jingzi used to have a deep relationship in the past, but now that Jingzi is married, you..." Mo Huiling had been deliberately touching her stomach with a sad look on her face. "Yes, Jingzi is married, but I'm still pregnant with his child. He can't be so heartless to me, can he? He has to give me an explanation." "Sai, you know about Jingzi's illness." "I suspect that there's something going on between him and Lin Che, so I haven't gotten pregnant yet. Since you're pregnant now, I want to keep this child. Unfortunately, I'm not as clever as Mu Wanqing. After so many years, she has won over everyone in the family, and now she's deeply rooted. Aunt, only you can help me this once. Only you can save the child in my stomach." Gu Lanshan looked at Mo Huiling and said, "I only know. I'm afraid you won't be able to do it from Jingzi. He's very stubborn. He's been like this since he was young, and he can't change his temper. No one can do anything to him. He's very stubborn." Mo Huiling's eyes kept darting around. Gu Lanshan said, "Then you still have to do it from Lin Che. After all, she's only been with Jingzi for a short time, and her identity and status are not as good as yours." Mo Huiling immediately understood. She smiled and quickly said to Gu Lanshan, "Thank you, Aunt." She touched her stomach and said, "Aunt, I'll definitely protect your grandnephew well. In the future, he'll be filial to you." Gu Lanshan thought to herself, "Forget about filial piety. I just hope that this child can really be born. When the time comes, it'll be a slap in Mu Wanqing's old face." After Mo Huiling left, she immediately asked where Lin Che had gone. Only then did she realize that Lin Che had left the Gu family and gone to a ravine to film. Mo Huiling's heart was filled with joy. This was really a favor from the heavens. Mo Huiling immediately went back to make preparations. She took advantage of Lin Che's absence to tell everyone that she was pregnant with Gu Jingza's child for 2 months, and that he would be the successor of the Gu family in the future. Those who didn't know about it were also very shocked. However, if it was someone else who said it, they wouldn't dare to believe it. But since it was Mo Huiling, in the past, she had been with Gu Jingza for many years. No matter what, Gu Jingza must have had some feelings for her. After marrying Lin Che, he also cheated on his ex-girlfriend and got pregnant with a child. This kind of thing happened in ordinary families, not to mention among these hedonistic sons of rich families. In an instant, many people went to visit Mo Huiling. When Mo Huiling heard that someone had come to visit her, she threw the card aside and said to Li Mingyu, "These people are so snobbish. When I was dumped by Gu Jingza, they avoided me one by one. Now that they know I'm pregnant with Gu Jingza's child, they immediately come to see me. Bah, I finally understand." Li Mingyu didn't say anything and let her do whatever she wanted. Mo Huiling sneered and said, "I heard that Lin Che went by himself. It seems that I'll have a chance to meet Lin Che again." Li Mingyu said in surprise, "Don't tell me you're going to see Lin Che. You're crazy. You're going so far away." Mo Huiling said, "Gu Lanshan said that I still have to start with Lin Che. I'm going to tell Lin Che to give up first. I'm pregnant with a successor of the Gu family. Once the child is born, her position will be in danger." With that, Mo Huiling didn't want to listen to Li Mingyu's advice, so she stood up and left. Chapter 557. Mornings in the mountains always seem to arrive very early. Lin Che had quite a lot of scenes that day. By the time she was almost done, she was already exhausted. A few assistants were busy with work, so she didn't care. She leaned against the wall and rested. She woke up at 3 in the morning to put on her makeup so that she could shoot the morning sun. It was already 4 in the afternoon. After a whole day of filming, she was really exhausted. These few days, Lin Che had been with the production team, eating and sleeping together. Everyone felt that she was really working hard. She didn't look like those delicate celebrities and was actually so dedicated. These few days, Lin Che had a good relationship with the author. Because he was working here as an editor, he had been following the production team around, changing some details at any time and guiding the filming, so he was always here. The two of them chatted a little more. Knowing that Lin Che had really read the original work, the author was also very happy. Moreover, the author had always been someone who stayed at home writing. Although he was very famous and had a lot of fans, he was very shy. He wasn't like these celebrities who had seen many people and lost their curiosity. The author was still very happy to chat with Lin Che. He even took a lot of selfies with Lin Che. After he posted them on the internet, many people felt that they were very loving. Lin Che made a funny face in the photo, saying that he was comparing who was uglier with the author. Many fans said below, "The more I look at Lin Che, the more I feel that he matches the original work. Lin Che is very down to earth. Lin Che looks better when he makes a funny face than the author. Author, you can give up too. The two of them have such a good relationship. It makes me look forward to the TV series even more. I hope that they can work together to film a TV series that matches the original work." Of course, there were also people who felt that Lin Che really knew how to behave. Knowing that the author had a lot of fans, she immediately tried to build a good relationship with him. She even said that all the people who were close to Lin Che were all powerful people. She was really addicted to hugging his thighs. Lin Che didn't care about these sour words. She leaned against the wall and rested for a while. Seeing that she was too tired, The director got someone to send her back to the hotel in town. Many fans were stationed outside the hotel, and there were also some onlookers who knew that a TV series crew had arrived, so they surrounded the place and watched. This hotel was said to be the best hotel in town, and it seemed to be a 3-star hotel. There weren't enough security guards outside, so they could only watch as a dense mass of people walked through this place every day. Lin Che had no choice but to leave an assistant here to look after things, in case someone went in and took pictures of her belongings and her privacy was violated. In the past, Lin Che had been to such a small town for filming. However, at that time, she was just an extra and did not need to care about such things. Now that she was a star, many people were watching her, so she had to be more careful. As soon as Lin Che arrived at the hotel, he avoided the onlookers outside and entered. The security guard also made an exception for a few people he knew. They came in and asked Lin Che if they could take pictures. Lin Che smiled and agreed. After the photo was taken, the assistant said, "These security guards are too unruly." Lin Che said, "Fortunately, there aren't many people. Forget it." As the two of them spoke, they raised their heads and saw that there was a person standing inside. Mo Huiling. Lin Che thought that his eyes were playing tricks on him. Why would she come all the way here? Mo Huiling looked at Lin Che. "You're really busy now." She walked over gracefully, looking very arrogant. She instinctively felt that it wasn't good to say it. However, Mo Huiling only glared at her and said proudly to the person, "That's right. I'm pregnant with Gu Jingza's child. You'd better let me go. Otherwise, if Jingza finds out that you've treated me and the future eldest grandson of the Gu family like this, he definitely won't forgive you." Chapter 558. Lin Che was speechless. What on earth was Mo Huiling up to? "Hey, that's good. I was afraid that I might have caught the wrong person. Come on, lock her up in the cellar and get someone to call Gu Jingza. Tell him that his wife and son are in my hands. If he doesn't give me 1 million, I won't let them go." "Hey, is 1 million too little? How about a little more? 1.5 million. What if he tries to bargain? Let's talk about another 1 million. That works too." Lin Che had never thought that he would meet a real kidnapper. The two of them were locked up in the cellar. The kidnapper looked at Lin Che and Mo Huiling and said with a smile, "Rich people really know how to play. He has such a beautiful wife and a beautiful lover, and he even impregnated his child. Sigh, why aren't we so lucky?" Lin Che looked up at them and said, "How did you find out about my relationship with Gu Jingza? How did you know about my relationship with Gu Jingza?" They looked like ordinary people and didn't seem like they would know about such a private matter. One of them said, "Did she say that she's pregnant with Gu Jingza's child?" He pointed at Mo Huiling and said, "She's been talking about it everywhere. Who doesn't know about it? We all know about it. Gu Jingza and the Gu family. We can't get our hands on them. I don't know what Gu Jingza is doing, but he has so many bodyguards. We can't find a chance at all. Otherwise, we would have kidnapped him already. But this little lover doesn't seem to be favored. He doesn't have so many bodyguards and no one around him. She said that she's pregnant with Gu Jingza's child, so we quickly followed her. It was a good opportunity. She actually came here alone. We heard you two talking in the hotel yesterday, so we guessed that you were Gu Jingza's wife. Haha, this time we got 2 of them. I don't believe that Gu Jingza doesn't care about one of them." So it was because of Mo Huiling. Lin Che glared at Mo Huiling next to him. He didn't expect that Mo Huiling had spread the news of her pregnancy around these few days. Then she deserved to be targeted. But she felt that she was really innocent. Lin Che thought to himself speechlessly. What did she do to get implicated by Mo Huiling? When Mo Huiling heard that it was because of her, she felt a little regretful. If he hadn't publicized it so much, he wouldn't have had to suffer today. However, she just wanted more people to know about this. She wanted everyone to know that she had not been abandoned by Gu Jingza. It was still possible for her and Gu Jingza to be together. Otherwise, everyone would think that she was really an abandoned wife. They left the two of them there and said with a smile that they were going to call Gu Jingza to ask for money. Mo Huiling didn't dare to say a word from the beginning. Seeing that he closed the door and went out, she cursed angrily at the back. You dare to capture me? Are you tired of living? A bunch of country bumpkins who don't know anything. You want 1,000,000, and you even want a bargain. What's 1,000,000 to Jingza? It's like playing around with $1 in his hand. Do you think that the heir of the Gu family is only worth 1,000,000? Lin Che couldn't be bothered with her. He looked around and thought about how he could get out of here. Mo Huiling was still saying, one look and I can tell that they are a bunch of gangsters. They want to kidnap me and ask for some money. Humph, Gu Jingza doesn't care about people like them. He will get me out of here as soon as he finds me. Lin Che realized that there was a vent above the cellar. Actually, she was so skinny that she could easily climb out if the vent was opened. It was impossible to get out even if she was fat, but she was confident that she could climb out. Lin Che said, Hey, Mo Huiling, help me move something over. Mo Huiling snorted and said, Who are you calling? You want me to help you move something? I'm the eldest daughter of the Mo family. You want me to help you move something? Lin Che looked at her. Hey, I'm locked up here because of you. Do you want us to escape now, or do you want to stay here as a hostage? Mo Huiling's eyes moved. I don't want to. I want to wait for Jingza to come and save me. Lin Che glared at her. Take your time then. Lin Che moved a large box to the side by himself. The box was very heavy. He didn't know what was inside. He moved it a little with great difficulty. However, before he could move it again, he heard movement outside. Lin Che quickly sat down dejectedly, pretending that nothing had happened. Seeing the door open and someone come in, she smiled at him. Is there anything to eat? Brother, I'm so hungry. The brother was eating noodles. He glared at Lin Che and said, You're still eating? Didn't you say that stars don't eat? Won't I starve to death if I don't eat? How can I not eat? I'll eat. You're usually so rich. What can't you eat? Can you even eat these simple meals? Lin Che said, I've only been living a good life for a few days. How do you know that I've always been so rich? I was much poorer than you when I was young. How is that possible? My dad was a farmer. He went out to work and never came back. I lost my mom when I was 10 and lived alone. Are you poorer than me? Lin Che said, That's nothing. I'm an illegitimate child. My mom also died when I was 10. Sometimes, I lived in my dad's basement and was bullied by my auntie every day. I ate badly and wore badly. After that, I lived with the nanny at home and helped the nanny work every day. It's true. I thought that celebrities' families were all very rich. The brother sat down with Lin Che and listened to her. Lin Che began to tell the story of his growth in a half-true, half-fabricated way. You haven't seen it. When I first entered the entertainment industry, I was just a minor character. I had to queue for 18 hours a day before I could see the director. I was so tan that my face was dark. When the director saw me, he said that I was not bad and that I could play a role with such a tanned face. And then you started acting? No, I played a dead person. I was soaked in the water for 2 days. My feet were rotten and there was not a single part of my body that was unharmed. In the end, I didn't even get to see my face. I only saw a shadow from afar. That's too tragic. For the second role, I finally got to see her face. Behind the extras, I played a woman who was stabbed to death by a Japanese soldier. That wasn't really acting. I only got 20 yuan a day and a boxed lunch at noon. Why do you think I'm so skinny? It must have been hard at that time. The more they talked about the same thing. Behind them, Mo Huiling looked at them with a look of disdain. She rolled her eyes. This Lin Che was too good at seducing people. The brother really thought that Lin Che was a good person. As for Mo Huiling, after he got up, he said to Lin Che, Sit down. I'll get someone to get you something to eat. Mo Huiling was also starving. Especially since she was pregnant, her appetite was increasing. However, the food that the man brought over clearly did not have a share of Mo Huiling. Lin Che quickly thanked the brother. He had no choice but to lower his head when he was under someone else's roof. He would only have a chance to run away when he was full. They were some construction workers who heard some rumors about the Goo Corporation. Later on, they were fired by the Goo Corporation because they didn't have all the necessary documents. After that, they didn't do anything serious. They started to cheat and kidnap people. I think they want to make some money this time, so they kidnapped your wife. The police chief wanted to say that they had also kidnapped a woman who was said to be pregnant with Gu Jingza's child. But seeing that Gu Jingza didn't say anything, he didn't mention it. Gu Jingza nodded. I understand. I'll try my best to protect my wife's safety. I'll agree to anything else. Even if they want to run away, I'll agree. I don't care about anything else. I just want my wife to be safe. Yes. Yes, your safety is the most important. We know. We won't do anything rash. We definitely won't, the police chief said hurriedly. Gu Jingza understood what kind of people they were. He tapped his chin with one hand and thought carefully about what to do. This kind of people had simple demands. They wanted money but were afraid that they wouldn't have the life to spend it. Hence, they cherished their lives. They were timid and a little ignorant. But ignorance was the scariest thing. Get them to cooperate first. Say that we're raising money and delay the payment, in case. They kill the hostages after they get the money. He wasn't such a careful person. But facing Lin Che, he had to be careful. Lin Che really regretted bringing Mo Huiling along with him. If it was her, she would have walked to the end of the road and left the forest. She had been here for a few days. Although she wasn't very familiar with the area, she understood a little. The forest wasn't big. She would definitely be able to get out after walking for a day. She had been walking towards the south, so there was no mistake. But now, she had a young mistress as a burden. Suddenly, she felt that it was hard to move forward. Lin Che, you're trying to get rid of me, aren't you? That's why you're walking so fast. Lin Che, do you think that if I die here, this child will be gone and you and Gu Jingza will be together forever? Think about it. This is an innocent child. Don't you feel bad? Think about it. You've caused my death. Don't you feel guilty? If I die here, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. Lin Che was speechless. If she had the strength to curse, why couldn't she walk a few more steps? Mo Huiling, it's very dangerous here. It's so deep in the forest. Who knows what's inside? If you don't leave here quickly, don't blame me for not warning you if you encounter something. Lin Che also felt that he had jinxed it. As soon as she finished speaking, she heard a sound behind the tree. She looked up, thinking that someone was there. But she saw a few men rushing out. Who are you? Mo Huiling screamed and fell to the ground. Because they were all holding shotguns in their hands. Lin Che was stunned. After a long while, he realized that they had encountered poachers. The first thing Lin Che did when he turned back was to quickly grab the dirt on the ground and make his face dirty. It was so dirty that he couldn't see his face anymore. Lin Che thought gloomily. It was all Mo Huiling's fault. If she had walked a little faster, she wouldn't have encountered them. If she had walked a little faster, she would have left long ago. Now they had walked for half a day and they were right in the middle of the forest. Damn it! All of them liked her and didn't like her. Even Gu Jingza. Mo Huiling said angrily, I'm really curious. Where did you get your face from? It's so seductive. If it doesn't work next time, I'll try it too. Lin Che snorted and looked at her. I'm not as rich as you. I don't have the spare money for plastic surgery and skincare. Ha, who are you trying to fool? Lin Che said, you're already sure. Why are you asking me? I do use skincare products, but they're all very common ones. They cost a few hundred yuan each and they're bought by the servants. I don't put on any facial masks or steam them every day. I think eating more fruits is really good for my skin. Mo Huiling continued to sneer. You mean that you're a natural beauty? You're really good at bragging. Lin Che said, I've already said that I'm natural. There's nothing I can do if you don't believe me. Mo Huiling didn't believe him. How could she be so good and perfect? Her face couldn't be so smooth and tender even if she didn't do much grooming. After hearing the young girl say that her face was really smooth and tender, Mo Huiling really looked at it carefully. She really found that her face was really smooth and full of collagen. It was so pretty that it looked like jelly. She thought viciously that Gu Jingze liked her because she was young and beautiful. Wasn't her face good? Mo Huiling narrowed her eyes. Men were really superficial. However, Lin Che would grow old sooner or later. His face would also collapse one day. When that time came, Gu Jingze would definitely regret it. However, Mo Huiling still felt extremely jealous when she saw that Lin Che's face hadn't deteriorated at all in the past 2 years. Instead, it was getting better and better. Mo Huiling said, when Jingze is done playing with you, you'll know that you're actually nothing. Lin Che said, I really don't understand why your thoughts are always so strange. Mo Huiling looked at Lin Che and said, yeah, my thoughts are strange. I just don't understand why everyone likes a woman like you who doesn't know anything, and has no power or status. Why does everyone like you? Lin Che said, maybe it's because I never ask such stupid questions, so everyone thinks that I'm not mentally retarded. You. Lin Che, I'm going to kill you. Mo Huiling was so angry that she wanted to strangle her neck when she heard Lin Che call her mentally retarded. Luckily, the young girl beside her quickly pushed Mo Huiling away. Mo Huiling looked at her angrily. Lin Che, just you wait. I won't let you get away with this. Lin Che covered his neck. He felt that his words might have been a little too harsh. He didn't know if she was influenced by Gu Jingze, but her words could also be so infuriating. She thought of Gu Jingze. She looked ahead and missed him a little. They hadn't seen each other for a few days. Did he know that she had disappeared? He knew that she had wandered to this village, but he still didn't know how they would be dealt with. As the two of them were thinking, the women came over. Although they disliked them for bringing these two women here, they still asked, do you want to eat? Can we? Thank you so much. The women seemed to have never seen such a passionate person who casually thanked them. They were a little embarrassed and said, come over and eat. Lin Che hurriedly got up. Chapter 561. Mo Huiling was naturally hungry as well. Lin Che had eaten a bowl of noodles in between, but Mo Huiling hadn't eaten anything. At this moment, she walked over and saw Lin Che picking up a bowl of cornbread and eating it. Even though he couldn't tell what the dish was, he was enjoying it very much. However, Mo Huiling couldn't bring herself to eat it. She looked at the food angrily. What kind of mess is this? It's so dirty and ugly. How can I eat it? Lin Che glanced at her and said, it's fine if you don't want to eat it. No one is forcing you to eat it. If you don't want to eat it, you'll just be hungry. Mo Huiling harumphed. However, her stomach started to growl again. She had no choice but to pick up a black and swarthy cornbread and take a bite. It was really hard to swallow, and there was a strange taste. She didn't know how she swallowed it. The woman looked at the two of them and asked, are you from the big city? Lin Che said, we're from B City. B City. Aya, that place must be really big. No wonder she doesn't like it here. Our village is the most backward place here. Lin Che looked at the woman and asked, then why don't you go out? Some of us go out, but we never come back. We're old, weak, sick, and we have to take care of our families. We don't have the skills to survive if we go out. I heard that the big city is a cannibalistic place. You can survive if you have money, but we can't. If we go there, we'll either starve to death or go begging. At least we have a home here. Lin Che didn't know who had told them this before, or if this kind of thinking was already deeply ingrained in them. He didn't say anything else and only smiled. You can try if you have the chance. This is still your home anyway. If you can't make it, you can come back. Look at the clothes you're wearing. You look so good. If we go there, we'll just be beggars. We won't even have the face to walk on your streets. Are the streets full of good-looking people like you? Big sis, you're too good at praising people. You're so nice. You won't starve in B City. She immediately smiled honestly, revealing her uneven teeth. Her smile was very bright. The men were discussing how to deal with the two of them. The few of them looked at Lin Che. How did you get into the forest? Lin Che said, we were kidnapped, and they wanted to extort something from our family. While the bad guys weren't paying attention, I escaped with her. Lin Che was too lazy to bring Mo Huiling along. He glanced at her and saw that she was still sitting there indignantly. She felt that her clothes and pants had been dirted and was extremely unhappy. After that, we kept walking, wanting to pass through the forest. I didn't expect to meet you guys. I think you're all good people. Otherwise, can you tell us how to get out? When I get home, I'll definitely send someone to thank you. The few men still looked at each other, hesitating to make a decision. Lin Che thought that perhaps they were worried that they would spread the news of his illegal poaching and making a hunting rifle. Lin Che did not dare to mention anything about the hunting rifle. He just looked at them and said, why don't we get someone to pick us up? Do you guys have a phone here? When she was kidnapped, her mobile phone had been thrown away by the kidnappers. Now she had nothing in her hand, and there was nothing she could do. The few of them looked at each other again. The woman said, we don't have a phone. This is a ravine, and it's deep in the forest. They won't even give us electricity. It's going to be dark soon, so we can only light an oil lamp. But it's good that we don't have anything to do at night, so we can sleep. The little girl next to her tilted her head and looked at Lin Che. Big sister, the necklace you're wearing looks really good. Is it especially expensive? Is this gem real? Lin Che was stunned. He looked down and saw that he was wearing a random accessory around his neck. It wasn't very big, and it was probably bought by his housekeeper to match his clothes. When Lin Che came out, he had casually put on a few of them. He didn't care what they were, but they looked more suitable to match his clothes. Looking at the little girl's longing gaze, Lin Che took off the thing around his neck and said, if you like it, can I give it to you? The little girl was pleasantly surprised. Really? But she immediately shrank back timidly. No, we can't wear something too expensive. The woman next to her said, that's right. Why are you wearing such a good thing? Are you as pretty as some people say? Why are you wearing this? Lin Che smiled and said, not really. She's quite cute. As long as you take care of her, she'll be fair and tender in the future. It's just that she's a little tanned. This thing isn't expensive, so just take it. To Lin Che, this was something that was dispensable. In comparison, she felt that it was more meaningful to give this to her. At least he liked it. The little girl immediately took it with a face full of joy. She ran out to show off to the others, saying that it was a gem and that it was a gift from Lin Che. When the children heard this, they swarmed over and looked at the beautiful little necklace curiously. Mo Huiling snorted in disgust and said unhappily, as long as you send me back properly, I'll tell you that I can give you a cart full of these things. This is nothing. It's such a small diamond. I don't even look at it normally. When the woman heard this, she looked at Lin Che and said, that girl, is her family very rich over there? Without waiting for Lin Che to say anything, Mo Huiling had already said, of course. If it wasn't for that little bitch, I wouldn't have ended up here. Do you think I would have come to a place like this? I'll never come to this shabby place in my life. It's so dirty and the food is so disgusting. Have you really not eaten delicacies before? My family has 10 dishes for a meal and we hire chefs from all over the world to cook whatever we want to eat. The clothes in our wardrobe are enough for you to see for the rest of your lives. After you wear them once, you definitely won't wear them a second time. Our servants all wear my leftover clothes. Each one of them is an international brand, and one piece of clothing costs tens of thousands. The woman said, she's really good at bragging. I don't believe her. She looked at Lin Che and said, isn't this the life that only the relatives of the emperor have? Is she bragging? Although Lin Che didn't like Mo Huiling, what she said was true. Lin Che said to the woman, yeah, she's telling the truth. Her family is very rich. If you guys help us get out, if you help us get out, she'll definitely give you a lot of money. When that time comes, you can rest assured that she won't refuse. Chapter 562. The woman looked at Lin Che and couldn't help laughing. She felt that Lin Che was really cute, especially when he was laughing like a ghost. However, the men behind them still didn't dare to let them go. They hesitated and looked at them. After hearing that the woman said that she was very rich, they became even more afraid. What if they went back to take revenge? What would they do? What if the government really came and found out that they were poaching in the village? Would they be arrested too? Therefore they didn't dare to send them back, because they didn't know what to do with them. Lin Che turned around and looked at the hesitant men. He had no choice but to continue to get close to the women. Maybe she had been in the entertainment industry for a long time, so she gradually learned to read people's faces. Or maybe it was because she had been with Gu Jingza for too long that she had become much more cunning. Although she had been pretending that she didn't know anything, she seemed to understand that the men were hesitating. It seemed that they had some problems. The woman saw that it was getting late and could only say to Lin Che, "It seems that you can't leave at night. There are many fierce beasts in the forest. It's not safe to go in at night." "Okay. Actually, we are very tired. We have been walking for a day and it was really scary when we escaped. I'm really grateful that you took us in. Otherwise, we might still be wandering in the forest." "It's nothing. It's just a coincidence." "Yes, it means that we are fated to meet," Lin Che said. "That's right. Isn't it fate? Otherwise we would be so far away from each other. Sigh, we would never be able to walk out of this ravine in this lifetime. Where would I be able to meet such powerful people like you?" Lin Che knew that they had never seen people like him and Mo Huiling, so it wasn't a compliment. She was really curious about them. Lin Che leaned against the wall. He was afraid that he would have to sleep here tonight. She felt that she couldn't sleep. Although she had only been away for a day, she felt that it was as tiring as a century. At night, they prepared a room for her and Mo Huiling. Lin Che could still tolerate it, but Mo Huiling kept on grumbling. After lying down, Lin Che closed his eyes to rest, pretending that he didn't hear her. However, Mo Huiling turned around and said to Lin Che, "I won't fall asleep. I know that you'll definitely take advantage of me falling asleep tonight to play dirty tricks on me." Lin Che turned around speechlessly. "If you're really afraid, why don't you just go out and sleep? Why do you keep worrying here?" "Ha, you want me to die so that you can have Gu Jingza. So, you will try your best to hurt me. I know your tricks. You don't seem to care, but you don't know how much you care." "Humph." Gu Jingza snorted. "You really think too much. That's what you think. There's no need to deny it. You can't hide your thoughts from me." "Alright, since that's the case, we'll fight for it ourselves. It's up to Gu Jingza to choose who he wants. We can naturally rely on our own abilities. You'd better not look for me in the future. If you have the time, you should look for Gu Jingza." "You," Mo Huiling said, "you're really shameless. Jingza and I already have a child, but you're still so persistent. If you're not convinced, you can do the same to me. But I'll still say the same thing. From now on, we'll rely on our own abilities and don't bother each other." Okay, you said it. You're so heartless that you want to force yourself on a pregnant woman. I can't do anything about it. Humph, I'll definitely win in the end. You can't stop my flesh and blood." Lin Che couldn't be bothered with her. He turned around and pretended to be asleep. Mo Huiling was so tired that she finally fell asleep. The next day, they still hadn't figured out what to do. Lin Che could only pretend to be innocent and said to the woman, "When can we leave?" The woman hesitated after hearing her husband's words. "But, they won't be going out for a while, so they can't send you off." Lin Che sighed. The woman said, "What's wrong?" Lin Che said, "I don't think it's anything. Life here is pretty good. The scenery is good, the air is good, and the food is natural. It's just that I've been out for a long time. I don't know if my family is looking for me." At the end of the day, she was still a professional actress. Acting as a woman who was sad because she was worried was a basic skill. The woman's heart ached. Because she really liked Lin Che, she said directly, "That's right. Your family must be worried about you. I'll get my man to send you." The man was quickly called over. Lin Che said pitifully, "I'm sorry. Big sister said that you'll be going out in a few days. It's not good for us to ask you to go out today. Why don't you point us to the place and we'll go by ourselves?" Her innocent look was too real. The man looked at her and finally said, "Forget it. We'll send you out." "Really? That's too much trouble. Let's go. Don't tell people that you met us here." Why? "Oh, you yearn for a rural life and don't want to be disturbed by outsiders, right?" "Yes. Yes. Okay. I won't tell anyone about this. Don't worry." Mo Huiling crossed her legs at the back, ignoring them, and directly walked forward. A few men followed behind and escorted the two women forward. With them leading the way, the group walked much more smoothly. Soon, they reached the center. Lin Che chatted with the man. "Big sister is so nice. I'll miss you." The man said, "That girl is really from a rich family. You can say that. She's just a businessman." "It's nothing," Lin Che said. "Oh." In their eyes, a businessman was already very good. The few of them were still wondering if these two girls' families were like Boss Wang's family, who had been working with them, driving around in cars. But then, suddenly, the sound of an airplane came from afar. The men were so shocked that they raised their guns. Lin Che suddenly raised his head and saw a helicopter hovering above his head. Lin Che immediately noticed the blue logo of the Gu family on the helicopter. Although it wasn't obvious, she still saw it. "Gu Jingza is here?" At this moment, a few men dressed in black suddenly climbed down from the helicopter's ladder. The men had never seen such a scene before and were scared out of their wits. Lin Che hurriedly said, Don't be afraid. This is my family coming to pick us up." You have such a thing in your family. Who are you?" Only then did they realize that they had been too simple-minded. However, at this moment, a figure rushed down from the helicopter. "Lin Che!" Gu Jingza called out. Then, the man who was still in the air jumped down the ladder. "Gu Jingza," she called out. Chapter 563. Gu Jingza's figure descended from the sky like a god. Lin Che was extremely excited. He felt like he was about to pounce on him. But at this moment, the man on the other side raised his gun. Lin Che grabbed Gu Jingza's shoulder in fright. "Gu Jingza, get out of the way!" She pushed Gu Jingza to the ground, but a scream was heard soon after. Lin Che was still in a daze. When he raised his head in a daze, he saw Mo Huiling sitting in front of him, clutching her shoulder. Blood was flowing out of her gray shirt, and she looked very conspicuous. Lin Che was stunned and said quickly, "Gu Jingza, bad news. Mo Huiling was shot." Behind them, the Gu family had already subdued a few people. As for Mo Huiling, she clutched her shoulder and cried. Her face was pale and she said in a hoarse voice, Am I going to die? I'm going to die, right? Jingza, save me, save me." At that time the man had fired the gun. Although Lin Che had pushed him down immediately, the bullet had already flown over. Even if he had fallen, it wouldn't have hit the two of them directly, but a certain part of their bodies would have been hit. Luckily, Mo Huiling had already pounced over at that moment. She blocked the bullet, so Lin Che and Gu Jingza were unharmed. Mo Huiling was quickly taken back to City B for treatment. Gu Jingza stayed behind to deal with the aftermath. Lin Che was brought back to the hotel to rest. When the crew heard that Lin Che had encountered the kidnappers, they were all very worried. However, they were also blocked from the news, so they didn't know what had happened. It was only now that they were allowed to visit. The director looked at Lin Che and said, "It's good to see that you're fine. Your company is really good at blocking the news. The town outside is in a mess. They said that a famous celebrity was kidnapped. We were all scared to death. Luckily, you're fine. However, because your company is so good at blocking the news, no reporters know about it." It wasn't the company blocking the news. It was Gu Jingza who had sent people to block the news. She and Yu Minmin's small studio couldn't block the news. The director said, "We've been anxious these few days. The people outside have been waiting to watch the show. I'm so angry. They make wild guesses every day. It really makes me speechless. It's just a kidnapping. Why are they making wild guesses?" Lin Che said. The director said, "It's already a big deal that we chose to film here. You don't know how many years it's been since a celebrity has come here. This time, it's a big star like you. There must be a lot of people waiting to see you. Our crew has made a lot of preparations for this. In the end, we didn't expect that something would happen. We have to take responsibility for this." Lin Che thought that this wasn't because something had happened to the crew, but because Mo Huiling had started it. She couldn't let the crew take the blame. It was because of her that the crew had been worried for 2 days. "It's okay, director. It's my fault. I was too careless. It has nothing to do with the crew. Don't worry, I'm fine. Besides, the kidnappers are just ordinary people who did bad things. It's not a big deal." The director didn't expect Lin Che to be so understanding. In the past, when an artiste got into trouble with the crew, they would be punished severely. This time, Lin Che actually took the initiative to say that she didn't need the crew to take responsibility. The director looked at her gratefully. "Lin Che, I don't know what to say. Anyway, the crew is waiting for you to come back to film. We'll take care of the people outside. If you come back again, we'll rent a separate house for you so that these people won't know where you are. It'll save you the trouble of being surrounded by so many people every day." "That's so embarrassing." "There's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is what we should do." Although, they also want to see the big star. After all, you're too popular, hee. Director. Lin Che looked at him speechlessly. After the crew expressed their condolences, Gu Jingze had already settled his matters and rushed over. He changed a hotel for Lin Che and didn't stay in the hotel there anymore. He didn't want his people to go in and out of the hotel because there were too many people. He wanted to go back to Be City directly, but seeing that Lin Che wasn't in a good state of mind, he asked his people to stay here. After entering the room, he walked to Lin Che's side. "Have you eaten?" Lin Che nodded and said, "I have." "Oh yeah, how's it going?" Mo Huiling. Gu Jingze interrupted Lin Che's question and said directly, "The kidnappers have been handed over to the police station. The group of people who opened fire have also been locked up." Lin Che said, "I think they committed a crime because of their ignorance. They might not be that bad in nature. They take good care of us in the wild. It's not good for them to keep poaching, but their wives and children are actually quite good. It's just that people are born there, so it's not very possible for them to change their fate. Sigh, don't worry. I'll get someone to pick them up. If it's possible, train them and see if they can take up the post." Hearing this, Lin Che's eyes immediately widened. "Take up the post?" "They can come here to learn some skills, but it's impossible for them to enter the Gu family. The Gu family has a strict audit, so it's impossible for them to pass. However, they can probably do some peripheral work." "Really? That's great." Lin Che said, "Gu Jingze, you're so nice." Gu Jingze said, "All right." He looked at the food on the side. Seeing that Lin Che didn't eat much, he knew that she was still in shock. He picked up the food and said to the person outside, "Is the waiter here?" The waiter ran over, trembling with fear. Gu Jingze said, "Heat it up for us." Lin Che was immediately speechless. "I'm full. If you want to heat it up, you can eat it yourself. I'll just watch you eat. You can't take it away if you can't finish it." I'm still a patient. How can you force me like this?" Gu Jingze glared at her. The waiter brought the heated food over in a short while. Gu Jingze didn't let Lin Che move. He picked up the porridge and said, "Don't move. I'll feed you." Lin Che looked at Gu Jingze. She hadn't seen him for 2 days and felt that he had lost weight. She felt a wave of sadness in her heart. She said to him, "Gu Jingze, you're such a nice person. Tell me, did I do something really good in my past life to meet you?" "No." Yes, I must have done something really bad in my past life to meet you." You. Otherwise, why can't I do anything to you? It's all because I owe you." "All right, hurry up and eat." He couldn't do anything to her? Lin Che's ears went numb. Meanwhile, Gu Jingze just fed her mouthful by mouthful. He was speechless, thinking that he wasn't good, but he couldn't help but want to be good to her. If it wasn't because he owed her, what else could it be? They returned to City B together. Gu Jingze's original intention was to go back, but the moment he got off the plane, the Gu family called. They said that Mo Huiling had caused trouble to the Gu family. Now the Mo family was arguing with the Gu family, demanding an explanation from the Gu family. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.